More than a month has gone by since the Saskatchewan Rush last played at home, but their time away has been well spent. A pair of road wins have the Rush back in a familiar place, first in the West, as they make their long-awaited return to SaskTel Centre for a big divisional battle. The road has been less kind to the Colorado Mammoth of late, with back-to-back losses knocking them back to the 500 mark after a strong start to the season. Now they land in Saskatoon for their second game in as many nights, looking to get back in the win column against their Western rivals. It's the Rush and the Mammoth, and it's coming up next on BR Live.
The following is a special presentation of the National Lacrosse League.
Good evening and welcome inside SaskTel Centre on a frozen Saturday night here in Saskatoon. Ryan Flaherty with you alongside Jake Elliott as the Saskatchewan Rush finally returned to home turf for the first time since their home opener on December 14th. And we've got a good treat for you tonight as it's a huge West Division battle between the Rush and the Colorado Mammoth.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. Always a good game anytime that the Mammoth and the Rush hook up. And of course, Colorado coming off a loss last night at the hands of the Vancouver Warriors. And they're going to be unhappy about that, obviously. I think going to be a motivated lacrosse team. And of course, Saskatchewan getting that 9-8 victory to start the year off in Denver. Another reason for redemption here for Colorado. But Saskatchewan motivated as well as they lost their home opener here to the Black Wolves. And you know they want to give the home fans a victory here tonight on Prairie Pride Night.
In fact, 2 straight losses on home turf going back to that West semifinal upset at the hands of these very Colorado Mammoth who are here tonight. So even though the Rush did get a bit of a measure of revenge in that home opener for Colorado, you know they want to respond here on home turf this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 goaltenders playing at the top of their game right now. Dylan Ward only allowing 7 goals last night, his save percentage off the charts. And Evan Kirk, after a shaky opening game of the season, has rattled off 3 straight victories and holding the Riptide to just 4 goals a few weeks ago. So 2 goaltenders that know each other very well. The storylines run deep between these two, both Orangeville products, both goaltenders of the year. And you know, they always want to bring their best against each other.
Let's start with that goaltender for the Rush, Evan Kirk. You just talked about him. An up and down 2019 season for him, also had an injury to deal with, but he looks dialed in here in 2020.
Yeah, and don't forget the new addition of a brand new baby to the Kirk family as well, and that can be a distraction, a good one mind you, but a distraction nonetheless. And I really think that injury plagued Evan Kirk season long, but he took the summer off, he dedicated himself to get right for prison. But now he's dialed back in, and when Evan Kirk is playing at the top of his game, this Rush team is a tough one to beat.
Now, defense has carried the day for the Rush thus far this season as they are allowing the fewest goals against per game in the NLL. But the offense is starting to get warm as well, and it was in evidence last week against San Diego as Ben McIntosh got off the schneid for a big 4-goal night.
Yeah, and you were just kind of waiting for Benny to show up. You know, Church and Matthews and those guys are going to do the damage. But it was the role players, Keenan, Dinsdale, and I hate to call them role players, but when you have superstars like Church and McIntosh and Matthews, that's really what they are. But you need that production out of guys like Shatler, Dinsdale, Keenan to get the job done, to supplement that offense, maybe get a little transition opportunity as well and get those guys chipping in. And you add all that up, and it turned out to be a victory over the San Diego Seals.
Offensively for Colorado, similar story to what we've seen in recent years. It has been a struggle to put the ball in the net for the majority of this season. Just 5 goals in Vancouver last night, and one of the guys that needs to get things going is Eli McLaughlin.
Yeah, and I don't know what the status is here for Eli McLaughlin tonight. I saw a couple of times during that Vancouver game last night, kind of doubled over. He took a walk down the tunnel. So I don't know if 51 is completely healthy here tonight, and he's been battling injuries over the last several months as well. So we'll keep an eye on Eli McLaughlin here tonight. Kyle Killen did not play last night as well for the Mammoth. Dylan Malloy got in. No goals from Malloy. I would expect the sophomore to draw back into the Mammoth lineup here this evening.
And we talked about their goaltender as well. Let's get more into Dylan Ward because he is playing Dylan Ward lacrosse again this season.
Yeah, absolutely sensational. And really for Colorado, for me, it's kind of the race to 11 goals. Colorado, if they can get to 11, they feel pretty good that their defense is going to hold their opponent underneath 10. And for Saskatchewan, I think if they can get to 12, they kind of feel like the same way. But that's a tall task against Dylan Ward. A left-handed goaltender, it's usually a little bit different for shooters to kind of look at him and size up their shot. That gives him an added advantage. But also Dylan Ward right now throwing the ball very well. And Joey Capito kind of returning to his old self here. He's had a great start to the season for Colorado.
It all sets up a fantastic matchup between two West Division rivals here tonight, and if the Rush can win, they can also claim the season series. We are going to have the opening faceoff coming up in just a couple of minutes' time, so stick around, get those snacks and beverages ready, and sit down for a good one here tonight from Saskatoon. The NLL on BR Live is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. And by Alterna Bank, Canada's end-to-end digital bank. Alterna puts the good in banking. Visit alternabank.ca to learn more.
The Saskatchewan Center welcoming, giving a really warm welcome to the Colorado Mammoth here as they take the floor. We are just about set for the anthems here as we get set for what should be a really fun battle on a busy Saturday night here in the National Lacrosse League.
Yeah,
we'll bring alongside Jake. Sorry, Jake.
No, sorry,
I'll defer to you here. What do you think? What are you looking at specifically going into this matchup?
Well, I think it's a race to 10 here tonight, quite frankly, Ryan. I think whoever can get to that 10, 11 goal mark here tonight first is going to win this lacrosse game. Two goaltenders coming in playing at the top of their game, and goals are going to be hard to come by. Now, saying that, I could be completely wrong, and we could be in here for a shootout tonight, for all I know, for all the years I've been around the National Lacrosse League. But I expect a tough defensive battle, a goaltending duel here tonight between Dylan Ward and Evan Kirk on Prairie Pride Night from Saskatchewan Center. We'll bring you home here in Week 8 in the National Lacrosse League.
Absolutely. Special alternate jerseys for the Rush for this one. They always like to trot out those different looks throughout the season, and another good one for them here tonight. The Rush, of course, looking for their third straight win after back-to-back wins on the road, while the Mammoth are looking to avoid a third straight loss. They're now 3-3 on the season. The Rush 3-1, and we are set for the national anthem.
The Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Dene, and homeland of the Métis Nation. Rush Nation, we ask that you please rise, remove any non-traditional headwear, and welcome Brittany Thornburn to perform the American and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée épopées des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for
Brittany Thornburg on the anthems tonight. A huge crowd on hand at SaskTel Center for a West Division showdown between the Saskatchewan Rush and the Colorado Mammoth. As I mentioned just a moment ago, the Mammoth coming to this one 3-3 after a loss in Vancouver last night, while the Rush playing on back-to-back weekends for the first time this season. They've won 2 straight. They are at 3-1 coming in. Ryan Flaherty here in the booth alongside Jake Elliott. Glad you could join us on this Saturday night from Saskatoon here on BR Live, and we're in for a good one tonight.
Absolutely. It's Prairie Pride night here inside SaskTel Center, and Rush Nation has bared the elements here tonight, Ryan Flaherty, and have shown up in droves to SaskTel Center to cheer on their Rush. Colorado Mammoth here tonight, and some special jerseys being donned here by the green and black this evening.
The hottest place to be in the province, I would have to say, here inside SaskTel Center. That's why the crowd's so big. No, they want to be here for an excellent lacrosse game, and a lot of these fans still with bitter memories of the last time the Colorado Mammoth were on that turf. The Rush did get some vengeance in the home opener for Colorado this season, but this is a home game, and it was where the scene of the crime happened if you're a Rush fan. So you want to see them get some payback here tonight if you are cheering for the men in green and black.
And don't kid yourself, these Rush players, when they lose on their home turf, they take it very personal, and they feel like they let these 15,000 people inside SaskTel down, and they do not want to let that happen again.
And let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, as Daniela Ponticelli is standing by at floor level with the Rush captain, Chris Corbeil.
That's right. It's easy to spot him with his red stick head as well this season. Chris, you've led this team into battle against the Mammoth so many times. What is the mindset going into this?
We just want to wear them down tonight. They had a tough game last night against Vancouver, tough travel day, so we're going to try and take advantage of that and just play them hard all night long.
Now, we've won the season series already, the first game this season, but we can't deny the way the things ended last season. Is there a bit of revenge in the mix tonight?
I think so. I mean, we're over it for the most part, but it's a divisional game. You're right. We need this one to clinch the divisional series. So it's a big game tonight. It's a chance for us to put a little separation between us and the rest of the division.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Daniela. And yes, it was 2 years ago that the Rush came back with a fire in their belly after losing the NLL finals here on home turf against the Georgia Swarm. They feel like they have a similar scenario going into this season with that sour taste from that loss to Colorado last season, and they feel they can bottle that and use that all season long.
A motivated Rush team is a dangerous one as Tim Edwards and Jeremy Thompson set to go. Mammoth in white, Rush in black. Teams are at center, sticks are down. Ball is down. Blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse.
You heard the man. We are underway here from the cable box in Saskatoon as a battle right off the draw. Shatler will collect that loose ball, and the Rush get the opening possession, but a double team by the Mammoth, knocking the ball free once more. Finally, Holden Garland comes up with it, and Saskatchewan will go to work.
And this is something I want you and the fans to watch a lot of here tonight. Loose ball situations. Watch how the Mammoth swarm the ball. 2, 3 guys on the ball carrier in a loose ball situation.
McIntosh sends it down low. Church across, quick stick, and they score right off the bat. Ryan Keenan, 35 seconds in, and the Rush have the opening goal.
That's the way you want to start a lacrosse game if you're the home team. And Ryan Keenan on the quick stick gets one to slip through the wickets of Dylan Ward. And the Rush on the board early here. You mentioned it, 35 seconds in. McIntosh down low to Church, across the crease it goes to Ryan Keenan, and quick stick 5-hole, 1-0 Saskatchewan.
Well, I was talking to Derek Keenan yesterday, and I asked him about the fact that the Rush are unbeaten when they score first. Of course, it's lacrosse, you see a lot of goals. And it's a small sample size, but the Rush 3-0 when they score first. They get the first one here tonight.
Numbers don't lie, Flaps.
So the fans in full voice already here at SaskTel Center as Jacob Rouet will pick up the ball off of that draw. The Rooster off to a good start offensively here for Colorado this season, already 12 goals for Jacob Rouet.
I really wanted to watch the face-off matchup here between Edwards and Thompson tonight, but it was Coates and Messenger on the draw number 2.
McLaughlin's pass intercepted by Ryan Dilks, who's been doing a lot of that early on this season. Quick outlet for Travis Cornwall. Now backing it up. The Rush deciding to be patient this time as the Mammoth with numbers out the back door as the Rush offense will get to work now. Mark Matthews waiting for his mates to join him, and Connor Robinson back into the lineup after sitting out last game in for this set now. Matthews up top, looking for a man, finds him. Church, low shot. Dylan Ward with his first save of the game.
Swooping shot there from Robert Church. Kind of a low to high release there, hooking it around his defender.
Mammoth back in possession now as we've played the first couple of minutes here. Rush jumping out to a quick 1-0 lead. You heard Chris Corbeil just before the opening faceoff. They want to wear down this Mammoth team that played last night, so expect them to be real hard on this Colorado attack early on. McLaughlin, recovery pass across. Lee's shot stopped by Evan Kirk, who makes his first save of the game.
Almost airmailed that ball there, but able to recover.
Here is Ryan Keenan, the goal scorer. Chatler. Matthews clearing some room. Now Benny McIntosh. Low shot, skips just wide. Matthews trying to get that ball off the ricochet, but it'll end up in the stick of Dylan Ward. And quickly up the floor. This is something to watch, the transition game for the Mammoth. And there's a shot, but that misses the net. There was some room there, but Gillis unable to hit the net.
Gillis has been dangerous in transition. Penalty call coming up.
Now a penalty coming to Colorado as Kirk makes his way to the bench. Matthews in the corner, can't control the ball. And finally the Mammoth will touch up. We'll get the penalty call here at the 2-minute and 43-second mark of the first quarter.
Too many men call here on the Woolies as they shot a man out of the back gate. But going back to Jordan Gillis, I want to say he scored in his last 4 games in a row, at least one. And a couple of them, I think, one was the game winner, of course, in overtime for Gillis, as Dylan Malloy will serve the bench minor. So Malloy, who did not score last night in his NLL debut, stays in the lineup here. It's Jeff Wittig that comes out as we should probably get the scratches in momentarily.
Rush going to work on the power play for the first time here tonight. Church for McIntosh, back up top, Matthews. McIntosh scores! Quick stick, Ben McIntosh. That's what he does best. It's 2-0 Rush.
Mailman to McIntosh. It's a known formula that works, so why not go back to it again? And check out the mitts on Ben McIntosh. Not only the soft hands, but the lime green. New gloves on Benny Mac as he sips that one into the empty net as Dylan Ward cannot recover. Got to come out and respect the shot, the outside shot of Mark Matthews, because if you don't come off your goal line, if you're Dylan Ward, then he's going to pick the corner on you. So pick your poison if you're Dylan Ward. If you're going to come out and challenge the outside shot, he's going to find the open man, and McIntosh finds the empty net. 7th goal of the season for Ben McIntosh, coming off a 4-goal performance in San Diego just last Sunday. He is starting to heat up. So the Mammoth in an early 2-goal hole here as we've just played over 3 minutes in this contest and looking to get something going on offense as Kyle Killen hops off the bench. Now McLaughlin spins up top, nice move to the net, but the shot misses. Loose ball push, a little too forceful on the pick, got to stay stationary. And a Rush defender going to the turf, hitting the back, and I think we're going to get a penalty call on this as well. Or maybe is that for a late shot here? It looks like we're going to a Rush hard one. An illegal substitution penalty on the Mammoth, so a tough one there now as the Rush, who are already 1 for 1 on the power play tonight and 9 for 15 on the season. That is 60%. Not too shabby. Glad you're doing the math. So right back to work with the 5-on-4. Matthews, Church mishandles that pass though, and the Mammoth will scoop it up. Robert Hope, the mainstay on that back end. Up ahead for Caputo. The officials tonight are crew chief Mark Gardonio, assistants David Westwood and Ryan Wilson, and our shot clock operator is Ian, no relation, Wilson. And let's get you scratches here quickly as well. Out for Pat Coyle tonight, defender Brett Craig. And up front, it's Jeff Wittig. And out for head coach Derek Keenan tonight, Austin Murphy and Justin Robinson.
And of course, Murphy making his NLL debut last week with Connor Robinson on the shelf. But with C-Rob back healthy, ready to go, Austin Murphy will take his seat. So the Rush back to work now, 1 minute and 15 seconds still remaining in the man advantage. Matthews and Keenan going back and forth, waiting for something to open up. Matthews finds the shot. Ward got a piece. It went off the post as well. Very close to a third Rush goal. And now quickly up the floor for Capito, but Matthews was aware and stays back on 82. But Capito trying to spin around Matthews.
Oh, goodness. Good luck trying to defend that one-on-one. And Matthews did a pretty good job of it.
Now Capito finds a streaking McLaughlin shot right on stop by Evan Kirk. And Kyle Rubish collects the loose ball. And the Rush still with 40 seconds of power play time here as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first.
Textbook loose ball there from Rubes, and now you got to make good here on your man advantage. This will be their final opportunity, you would think.
Church up top for Matthews as he will quarterback this power play as he always does. Now McIntosh coming out from the side, can't hit Keenan with the pass. Church will scoop it up off the wall, forward to shoot. Matthews takes it and scores! Martin Matthews with that rapid release. It's 3-0 Rush.
That's what I was talking about earlier, Flats, right there. You don't come off your goal line as a goaltender. Matthews is going to pull the trigger. And the perennial 100-point man keeps it going here on the man advantage for the Rush. And take note, rest of the league here. You do not want to be in the box against this Rush power. It's almost automatic.
2 for 2 tonight, now 10 for 16 on the year as the Rush continue to make hay with the extra man. Once again, we see Messenger lining up for this face-off along with Tim Edwards. Good battle here. Messenger sweeping it away. Nice job by number 8, and Jeff Cornwall comes in to help out and gain possession for Saskatchewan.
And Thompson's kind of a pick and pop guy, likes to win it to himself, where Messenger, he's gonna make it dirty and create a 50-50 ball for his loose ball team to come and get.
There's McIntosh, and Ward gets a shoulder on that hot shot from Ben McIntosh. Great start for the home team here. The Rush jumping on top of the Mammoth early.
Well, talk about great starts. How about the Halifax Thunderbirds, Flats? 5-0, 8-5 final over the San Diego Seals tonight from the Facts.
Kurt Stiers having a good time so far this season with his club and their new surroundings.
2 hands, there you go.
Jeremy Thompson up ahead. Rush will settle it down here. Holden Garland leaving it for Ryan Keenan.
Listen, I know we're 9 minutes to go here first quarter, but already a 3-0 lead, and next goal in this game becomes a pretty big one right now.
Church being watched closely. Dishes to the corner. Back to Church, now over for Dinsdale's shot, stopped by Ward. Loose ball picked up by Ryan Keenan, and a new shot clock for Saskatchewan.
Smart play, don't force, pull out, make the defense work. Another 30 seconds.
Ryan Keenan and Mark Matthews. They try to play the 2-man game. Keenan's shot blocked in front. Good stick by the Mammoth defenders on that one.
I like the signs here from the Rush offense early, though, Flats, getting inside.
And there's McLaughlin with a shot over top of the net. It's loose just outside the crease. They're going to call that and through the crease there, and so we'll have a stoppage. That'll take us to our first media timeout. A great start for the Saskatchewan Rush as they put 3 past Dylan Ward to start this one off. You're watching the NLL. Back inside SaskTel Center, just about 7 minutes into the first quarter, the Saskatchewan Rush jumping out to an early 3-0 lead on the Colorado Mammoth as you're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. And a good start for Saskatchewan. Goals from Keenan, McIntosh, and Mark Matthews, the guys that you want to see getting on the score sheet to set the tone for that Rush offense.
Nice balanced attack, 2 for 2 on the man advantage. Offense clicking, getting good looks, getting resets. And the defense doing their job on the other end. Evan Kirk looking sharp to start this one as well. I mentioned that 8-5 final, Halifax over San Diego. The finalists, the Thunderbirds, keep it rolling. And we got a plethora of other games here going. There's a little dance routine on our screen. As some good games going around the league right now, Ryan Flaherty. As I'm just about to get you an update here momentarily, but 9-8 Calgary, Buffalo up a couple. 11-10 now, Roughnecks over Rochester. 7-7 Philadelphia and New England locked up 8-6. Buffalo over Toronto. And Georgia and the Riptide hooked up in a tight one as well. We'll keep you apprised of all the scores here from Week 8 action as we move along throughout the evening.
Yes, plenty to choose from for the lacrosse fan tonight. We are glad that you've chosen to spend your evening with us here on BR Live. We're just about set to resume play at SaskTel Center. It is Prairie Pride night. You saw those dancers on the floor from the town of, or the city of Warman, just north of Saskatoon here, and they are the communities in the spotlight here tonight at SaskTel Center, recognizing some community leaders from Warman pre-game, and we'll see some members from that community as part of the festivities here throughout the evening as we are back underway. Church up top to Keenan, into the corner for Jeff Shatler. Keenan picks up that bouncing ball, but his shot was disrupted. Good stick check there, and the Mammoth will take over. Gillis for Ryan Lee, the leading point getter for this Mammoth team early in the season. Had a pretty quiet night last night, though, but so did the entire Mammoth offense. Just 5 goals. Here's a chance for Wardle, and he scores. The Mammoth are on the board. Great diving effort by Chris Wardle.
And there's that next goal I was talking about. That'll keep the Mammoth within striking distance here and maybe get their confidence going as they get one from the Victoria BC product in Chris Wardle. As just a good off-ball cut there and found the hole in the middle of the rush defense, top of the crease, and goes short side past Evan Kirk, and it's 3-1.
And a nice feed by Dylan Kinnear, who is back in the Mammoth lineup. Did not play last night, but he gets the primary assist on that goal by Chris Wardle, his 8th of the season.
Kinnear's got one of the goals of the year so far this season as well, with that blind over-the-shoulder effort against the Warriors.
Rubish bounce pass up ahead for Holden Garland, and the Rush offense will hustle onto the floor. Chris Corbeil, final pass before he heads to the bench. And Mark Matthews will get things going, but still now just 10 left on the shot clock. Slow developing set for the Rush. Church with the shot, but Ward stepping out and reading that one all the way. John Lintz, though, has his stick knocked out of his hands, but Joey Capito there to recover for Colorado. Now quickly up ahead for McLaughlin, and he's stopped by Kirk. Rebound chance, and they score. It's Sullivan on the rebound, and it's a 3-2 game.
Yeah, there's really no excuse for that for Saskatchewan. You left the goaltender kind of hung out to dry there as Kirk makes the first stop on the 2-on-1 from McLaughlin, but nobody back to pick up the loose ball off the rebound off the initial stop, and that's an easy pot there for Sullivan. Again, top of the crease, untouched. And Mammoth with 2 straight now, back within 1. 6:51 to go, first quarter, 3-2 Rush.
How quickly a complexion of a game can change. That is why we love this sport so much. The Rush looked like they were starting the bus already early in the first quarter, but the Mammoth with a good response here with back-to-back goals. And we've got ourselves a game. 6:51 to go here in the first.
Mammoth defense starting to settle down a little bit. They're going to pack back in the middle and kind of invite those outside shots from Saskatchewan. That's what Dylan Ward wants to see. If he can see it and get his angle set, good chance he's going to stop it. And that's what they've been able to do on their last couple of possessions here, as I think they're just getting a quick review down in the booth.
I think they may be just checking the time perhaps, or perhaps they are looking at this, although I did not see a challenge from either bench. It is the mandatory replay, second replay. The league rules stipulate that, so just having another quick look. Everything's good to go. You see Ian Wilson hanging out there.
The legend.
Man, yes. Gets a big pop here in the crowd. If you've never been to a game here at SaskTel Center, it's quite a funny little
most popular 30-second clock operator in the league.
Easily, hands down. Got a
Second
turnover here.
violation.
Too many, or pardon me.
Yeah, didn't get the ball across.
That's right, it was an 8-second violation, and now the Rush take over. Keenan with Matthews. Matthews occupying a pair of defenders, but Keenan will drop back for Marty Dinsdale, last man on. Robert Church rolling over the top. Fires just over top of the net. Robert Hope using the body to block that ricochet, and now picks it up and will start the transition.
Pretty good look there for Robert Church coming down the pipe, but ball just kind of rolled out of the pocket high a little bit. That'll happen once in a while.
So the Mammoth now looking to tie things up here. Wardle cross for Kyle Killen. Takes the return feed. Wardle, low shot right off the bottom of the post. That had some serious steam. just inches away from tying it up. Kinnear now coming out of the corner, low shot, that hit the pipe as well, skipping off the turf.
All right, Flats, they look to really be looking short side to the left-handers on the right side of the floor on Evan Kirk. That's the glove side on the Rush goaltender.
McLaughlin across. There's Killen. Back pass over the head of Rouet. He has to go back and retrieve it. Now Kinnear down low, 10 to shoot for Colorado. McLaughlin trying to find a lane. Gets around Corbeil, now knocked into the crease. Goal in the net, but waved off as McLaughlin was in the painted area.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I don't know if we're going to get a replay of this or not, but probably not, because that's the road team on a non-goal call, so no mandatory replay.
Here's Schattler in front. Oh my goodness! And there is a big goal for Jeff Schattler. And it's 4-2 Rush.
Needs the assist for 500, but he'll take a goal here for his hometown Saskatchewan Rush on the setup from Connor Robinson. A little two-man game. Back away, slip to the goal, and goes glove side on Dylan Ward. Hip high, 4-2 Rush off the goal from Jeff Schattler.
A strong reply by the Rush after giving up those 2 goals to Colorado. Still 5:03 remaining here in the first quarter, and Schattler has his 3rd goal of the season. And we're seeing some real balance in this Rush offense early on here tonight, Jake. 4 different goal scorers, different men setting each other up, as well as Connor Robinson gets involved in the scoring with the play for Schattler there.
Quick update, Rochester, Calgary now 11-11. Philadelphia, New England 7-7.
Can Rochester get their first win tonight? That should be a good one to watch down the stretch. This one too, as Josh Sullivan gains possession for Colorado, being hounded by Mike Messenger. And here is Dylan Malloy.
Took a lot of shots last night to Dylan Malloy. Came close, but didn't find the back of the goal for the former Tewaaraton winner.
There's McLaughlin, leaves it for Lee, now takes it back. We have a off-ball push, and Rush will take over, but that's going to take us to a... Oh no, are we going to a timeout?
No, it is. I just don't like the whistle. Yes. It looked like Cornwall had a breakaway opportunity, but we're going to break.
Absolutely. We're going to take a bit of a breather here. A fast-paced start in Saskatoon. The Rush lead at 4-2. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. We are back inside SaskTel Center, and let us send it down to floor level where Daniela Ponticelli has something for us. Daniela.
Ryan, the energy in this building, as you can understand, very palpable, because we talked about the fire in the belly with Chris Corbeil, a little bit of revenge fueling that that quick start for the Rush. Of course, slowed down by 2 points there from the Mammoth, and then responded by Schattler. And did want to mention the fact that Jake Elliott also talked about the fact that hometown boy Schattler with the assist from now, I guess, hometown Connor Robinson, who moved in with Justin Robinson, Mark Matthews, and Holden Garland. This week in the cold, it's definitely got to be a boost for these guys to now be warming things up right here on Co-op Field. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Daniela and Jake. That is a house, I'm sure that is going to be some stories to be told from that house.
Yes, they need maybe an unfiltered look at that house during the off days.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jake, I was just going to say, great to see some of the Rush players settling in here in Saskatoon this season, having a presence in the community during the week as well. As they battle along the wall, Colorado will come up with the loose ball here. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's 4-2 Saskatchewan on Prairie Pride night here in Saskatoon.
4 minutes to go here, Flats. 12 seconds to go from New England in a 7-7 tie. Philly with final possession.
And the Wings hand the Black Wolves their first loss. Lots of intrigue tonight across the National Lacrosse League, and we're gonna have lots more nights like this as expansion continues too, and the league continues to grow. But back to the action right here as the Rush taking over on offense. Schattler looked like he had an eye for goal momentarily and then changed his mind. Now back to Church. Then McIntosh. Cross for Robinson, takes the return pass, and that shot stopped by Dylan Ward, who looks like he is settling in here tonight. Dinsdale. Now thinks about it, little fake now across for Schattler. There's a chance for McIntosh, but he just can't quite finish it off.
Man, you do not see McIntosh miss an empty net like that very often. My goodness.
More good work by the Rush to maintain possession. Still 15 on the shot clock. McIntosh coming out of the corner, trying to clear some room. Now Robinson working on Sullivan one-on-one, and it's stopped by Ward. Next weekend, the NLL Game of the Week moves to Philadelphia as Trevor Baptiste and the Wings host Connor Kelly and the Riptide in an East Division matchup. Catch all the action on BR Live, Twitter, and Facebook starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.
Could be a good one.
Mammoth trying to get one here, and there is a hot shot that stays out from the stick of Dylan Kinnear. Now, huge paddle along the wall, tons of bodies back and forth looking for that loose ball. It finally squirts free. Travis Cornwall knocked down to the turf. And it'll be Gillis who comes up with the ball, squirts through the middle there, and just about found that top corner.
What a wrecking ball, Jordan Gillis right there to the rack.
Jeff Cornwall now over to Church. Swings it down into the corner for Keenan. Matthews clearing room. Keenan's shot doesn't hit the target, but a friendly bounce for Mark Matthews right into his stick. 10 still on the shot clock. Matthews lost the handle on the ball that time. Dan Coates, the Mammoth captain, will pick it up in the corner. Quickly up the floor, Tim Edwards. Rush have numbers back defensively. Now Killen to the corner for Lee. Swing it across. Chris Wardle almost slips, kept his footing, gets it back to Lee. Corbeil putting tons of pressure on him. Now Wardle forced up high as well. There's a tough angle shot late in the shot clock. Good defensive set from the Rush that time, not allowing the Mammoth to get a good look.
Yeah, forced the shot from the wing, and out of play it goes off of nobody back to the defending team when that happens.
So we approach the final minute of the first quarter. The Rush have the 4-2 lead. Church for McIntosh. He has a goal tonight. Now Connor Robinson looking for Schattler. He was hooked up just a little bit. Good job defensively by Josh Sullivan, not allowing Schattler to get free. And now here comes Capito flying down the floor, makes a move, shoots, and stopped by Kirk.
That's a good save there for Evan Kirk off of Joey Capito, who's always dangerous in transition.
You can see where he gets that nickname, Lightning, speeding up and down the floor. And still, at this point in his career, hasn't seemed to have lost a step at all.
Former football player as well. The man could probably walk faster than I could run.
That's you and me both. Under 30 seconds to go here. About a 1 second differential with the shot clock as well. We'll see what the Mammoth do. They've sent Ward to the bench. He is hanging out just outside the bench, and now the extra man is on. And the Mammoth will see if they can get a late one here at the end of the quarter. Wardle to McLaughlin, 6 on 5, finds a man inside. It's Lee's shot, misses the net, and the ricochet comes all the way back last second, and that'll be an easy shot stop on the long shot for Evan Kirk. An exciting first quarter of play here at SaskTel Center. 4-2, the Rush lead.
Yeah, shots on goal, 12-9 Saskatchewan. They outscore Colorado 4-2 in that opening quarter, and I think a pretty solid 15 minutes there by both teams.
Stick around, we'll be back with the second on BR Live. Welcome back inside SaskTel Center as we get set for the second quarter. Rush jumping out to a quick 3-0 lead over the Colorado Mammoth, who then got back-to-back goals to get within one. But it's the Rush on the goal by Jeff Schattler who take the 4-2 lead into the second.
In overtime in New England right now, still deadlocked at 7. Wings with possession here, their second of overtime, trying to win the game and make it their 4th in a row. But New England comes up with a stop on defense. We will keep you apprised here. It's a big night in Week 8. 6 games going. Well, 5 now, as a final from earlier. Vancouver 7-5 over Colorado last night from Rogers Arena, and an 8-5 victory for Halifax over San Diego, as a few games coming down the stretch right now as we work our way into the second quarter.
8s are wild. It's Week 8. We've got 8 games on the slate in the National Lacrosse League. Gotta love it.
Jeremy Thompson back out for this opening draw as he bounces around as the teams switch ends here to start the second 15 minutes from SaskTel Center. 15 down, 45 to go. 12-9 your shots on goal, 4-2 Saskatchewan. As we're set to go here for second quarter action. As again, the Black Wolves come up with another stop on defense.
Jeremy Thompson getting set to take this draw against Tim Edwards. A tough game for JT last week in San Diego. 3 minor penalties, and one which his head coach commented on during the broadcast that he wasn't a fan of. So you know there's probably been a conversation about that and the discipline. And we'll be watching Jeremy Thompson closely tonight to see how he manages himself in that regard.
Yeah, and you know he takes that personally, right? He knows he's got to be better, and he will be here tonight. I'm certain of it. Blow the whistle, let's place them across.
You heard the man. The second quarter is underway. Possession awarded to the Colorado Mammoth as they try to cut into this 2-goal deficit to start the second. Chris Wardle with it. Now low. There's Eli McLaughlin. Talked about it off the open. Took a bit of a beating last night in Vancouver. And that shot stopped by Evan Kirk. And we'll keep our eyes on McLaughlin and see how he looks throughout the course of the night. But so far, so good. Kyle Killen. Across, tough pass to handle for Wardle. He was expecting it a little higher, but recovers, gets it behind the net to Lee.
Jones hung up here.
Lee looking for a man. Finally gets it to Wardle. Nice dip of the shoulder to get around Thompson, but Kirk was ready for that goal mouth rush.
Penalty call, though. I think Thompson's going to go for a hold here. Got the stick up. As the New England Black Wolves have just won it in overtime. Flatsk, I believe Callum Crawford, the money man in OT for showtime.
And it is a holding call against Jeremy Thompson.
And you know, he kind of got put on an island there against Chris Wardle one-on-one, and that's an okay penalty there from Thompson, because if he doesn't take that one, Wardle's getting a real good look at goal, and now you put your trust into your short man unit to get the job done here.
So the Mammoth go to the power play for the first time here tonight. Killen quarterbacking it at the top. Low pass, good sticks in the lanes by the Rush. They'll take that one away. The Mammoth power play on the season, 13 for 25. That is a 52% success rate. While the Rush penalty kill still struggling like it did last season. They've allowed 8 goals against 15 shorthanded situations. But right now they have the ball and are able to kill some clock here on this penalty kill. Matthews just hanging out up high. Now works around Carnegie, gets mauled high, up high. That's going to be a penalty for Colorado, and it's going to end this power play early as Matthews forcing the issue there and drawing the penalty.
And I know we want to focus on this one here, Flats, but hold the phone as they're reviewing that potential overtime winner here for Crawford. Might have had a toe in the crease as they look on for the replay. We'll let you know what happens here as we're going to play 4-on-4 lacrosse. And I love to see this. It's not coincidental penalty. I don't love to see the penalties, but I love to see some 4-on-4 action, Flats. And because it wasn't coincidental, we're going to take the manpower off the floor here, play some 4-on-4.
Scott Carnegie to the box, and 1:07 of 4-on-4 lacrosse. Keenan with it for Saskatchewan, who get possession thanks to the penalty call on Carnegie. Keenan trying to get free, finds Schattler. Now loose ball for Church. That shot doesn't get into the net. Now the Rush, they'll get her right back on it as it was blocked in front. Keenan's shot, that's turned aside by Dylan Ward. Under 40 seconds in the 4-on-4. Gillis thinking about going for goal and then drops it back. Kinnear shoots, and that misses by just a couple of inches.
And he put something on that one, it just missed.
Mammoth still with possession here. Now a diving chance and a goal by McLaughlin. What a finish by Eli McLaughlin. It's a 4-on-4 goal, and the Mammoth are back within 1.
And that's what makes 4-on-4 lacrosse so entertaining. You got the 2-man game on both sides, and Ribish and Messenger getting a little crossed up on the communication on who to take the ball and who to take the man slip into the goal. And Eli McLaughlin gathers with one hand and then stretches out full horizontal to tuck it far pipe on Kirk. 4-on-4 goal, 1-goal game now, 4-3 Rush.
I don't know what was more impressive there, the take or the finish, because that was not an easy pass to corral for Eli McLaughlin, but so smooth to take it in and get the release, top corner. We've got ourselves a 1-goal game.
Absolutely. And it does count for Crawford, by the way. Game over in New England.
Mike Messenger now with it for Saskatchewan. 10 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4, and then the Rush will get a short power play of about 50 seconds. Matthews will hold. No, he's going to shoot. Ball off Ward and out of play, so the Rush are going to get possession back, and now they will go to the man advantage. The officials directing traffic. Ben McIntosh will get the restart out of the corner. Now Matthews will set things up. Keenan wheels, fires. Good leg save by Dylan Ward. Loose ball picked up by Colorado. Heading up the floor is Robert Hope. Quick pass over for Rouet. Mammoth with a chance to kill most of the remaining time on this penalty. Maybe strike shorthanded and get themselves back on even terms. Rouet to Wardle. Under 10 to shoot. Trying to spin away from Jordy Jones-Smith. Now ladles it off for McLaughlin. Long shot. Easy stop for Kirk. And a loose ball picked up by the Rush. Holden Garland sprinting up the floor. Has Matthews off the bench. Matthews thought pass, took the shot. Just missed over top of the net. Now McIntosh trying to beat two Mammoth players as Carnegie came out of the box to get the 2-on-1 right there on McIntosh and win the ball.
Close call in transition there. Church wanted the ball up ahead. He was open for a long time.
Wardle, low shot, kicked out by Evan Kirk, high up in the air and brought down by Dylan Kinnear. Cross for Wardle as Kinnear makes a beeline towards the top of the crease. Now pass from behind, Lee knocked down. He stepped in the crease. Travis Cornwall was on top of him as well, and looks like we're gonna have a penalty. Travis Cornwall, in fact. So the Mammoth, we're gonna get another chance on the power play.
Let's listen into the call here.
Holding number 20, 2 minutes holding.
Holding the call on Travis Cornwall, as you'll watch it again here on BR Live, and just a quick step to the front of the crease there for Lee, and Cornwall in the trail position had to kind of reach out there. So an opportunity here now for the Mammoth with 10:55 to go in the second quarter. For an opportunity on the man advantage to try and tie this game.
So the Mammoth back to work. They took a penalty to cut off more than half their last power play, but now go back on the 5-on-4. Lee across from McLaughlin, he scores! Eli McLaughlin back-to-back goals, and we've got ourselves a tie game.
15 seconds is all it took on the power play there for Eli McLaughlin and the Mammoth to tie things up.
So after a hot start by the Rush, gritty comeback by the Mammoth, they've climbed their way back in here, and we've got a brand new lacrosse game here with 10:40 to go in the second quarter.
I don't expect this thing to get too far out of hand for either team here. I think we're in for a tight one the entire evening, and we'll see a couple of runs of 2 or 3 goals maybe for either team here, Flats, but I don't think any team is going to stretch things out here tonight. I think we're going down to the final quarter and quite potentially the final possession here tonight.
Brian Lee and Kyle Killen draw the assists on Eli McLaughlin's second goal of the game and 5th of the season, and the Mammoth get possession once again off the ensuing draw. Wardle for Lee. Watched by Travis Cornwall, dishes off for Malloy. Trying to pull his way through Matt Hosick. That is easier said than done. Now Wardle with it. Shot from outside, stopped by Evan Kirk, and the Rush will pick up the loose ball as Hosick absorbs a check and keeps on ticking, finds Ryan Dilks. Back for Hosick. Oh, looking for the return feed and just couldn't get it to him as Dilks was just waiting for that pass.
Minute to go in Rochester, Flats. 13-12 Nighthawks over the Roughnecks right now.
Wow, an upset brewing right there. And a good one going here between the Rush and the Mammoth. Rouet for McLaughlin has the hot stick. Cross for Kinnear. Diving effort stopped by Evan Kirk. Dylan Kinnear has got some mojo going. You can tell he didn't play last night. A little extra energy.
And Colorado really taking the left-hander, dragging him to the right side of the floor, swinging the ball back across, and then isolating a one-on-one matchup and spreading out that Rush defense.
Oh, great save by Ward on Ryan Keenan as he slipped free. And now John Lintz will take his man hard into the wall. Carnegie in there trying to help out, but can't see who that is down there. It's Marty Dinsdale working hard.
My goodness,
now you get some support. We got 7 players there in a frozen ball. We're gonna get a timeout here from the officials, and we are going to head to our first timeout in this second quarter. It is a tie game, 4-4 between the Rush and the Mammoth. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Back inside SaskTel Center, and let's head right down to floor level and join Daniela Ponticelli, who's standing by with Colorado head coach Pat Coyle.
Thanks, Ryan. Coach, a hot start to this game. Coming off a game last night, it was a loss, but how are you feeling with this effort so far? We're all tied up at 4.
I like the way we responded after a really slow start. Last night really left a bad taste in our mouth, so I'm happy right now that we're not playing like we did last night. I'm happy how we've responded, for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I have to like that response if you're a Colorado Mammoth fan, because it's pretty easy to fold the tent after losing last night and having a rough start, but you know they're not going to do that. This team has too much pride to do that.
We got a happy Pat Coyle tonight, Ryan Flair. A happy Pat Coyle.
Watch all the action from around the National Lacrosse League this season on BR Live. Choose an annual, monthly, or per game pass. For more information, visit NLL.com/BRLive. As we are back underway here, Mammoth have scored back-to-back goals to tie this thing up at 4. And it's going according to script here, as these two teams have shown us time and time again in this great West Division rivalry. Rush with the ball, looking to get back out in front. Church down for McIntosh. Cross for Schattler. That's a tough one to take, but he does pick it up off the turf. Can't find Church, though, in the middle, and the Mammoth will collect the loose ball.
Yeah, that possession a little disjointed right there.
Sullivan with it for Colorado, leaves it for Malloy and sprints towards the bench.
We have a final in Rochester. The Nighthawks with their first win in franchise history over the defending champions. 13-12 the final.
Oh, that's going to be a fun night in Rochester. As
garbage plates for everybody flash.
Jeff Cornwall scoops it up and sprints up the floor. He's got his brother Travis with him, but being watched closely by Capito. Cornwall getting his first goal since 2018 in last weekend's win over San Diego with an assist from brother Travis.
McIntosh got blown out there, and somehow it's Mammoth ball. Garbage plates eating at Dinosaur Barbecue there. I don't want people to think that people are eating garbage in Rochester.
The regional cuisine of choice in Rochester, New York. Jacob Rouet. Now here's Lee. Back across. Kinnear looking for Lee. Pass in behind him. It's in the corner. Shot clock winding down, and the Rush will take over. Garland up ahead for Jeremy Thompson, who jumps up to pull that pass down. Rush getting their offense back on the floor. Dinsdale got himself a couple of goals last week. Leaves some room for Church, and that shot got off the shoulder of Dylan Ward. Comes all the way back out, but with the shot clock being reset, of course, that's not an over and back, so Church will pick it up and start back up the floor.
Smart play there just to kind of shield the ball, make sure you get possession. Full 30 to work with.
Church for Dinsdale. Now into the middle. Dinsdale trying to get free. Can't. Finds his man Keenan. Shot gets through Ward, but doesn't cross the line. Close call for the Rush.
Very close. Ward having to reach behind him to stop that one from rolling across the line.
Hope for Malloy. Now into the corner, Kyle Killen. Ryan Lee across for McLaughlin. Has some room, takes the shot. Kirk was ready, though, stepping out to make that stop. And quickly up the floor, Dylan Ward finds Ryan Dilks, thinks about a shot, then decides to slow it down and leave it for the offense to go to work.
I was going to say, Mammoth are really setting hard picks on offense, and the Rush need to do the same.
Matthews takes that shot. Ward looked like he got a piece, but no reset. There's a shot right on, and Ward stops Connor Robinson.
Good off-ball cut. Better stop.
Under 6 to go here in a fast-moving second quarter. 4-4 your score between the Saskatchewan Rush and Colorado Mammoth. Mammoth playing the second of a back-to-back. Lee trying to feed it into the middle. Somehow, some way, Rouet was able to receive that pass. Still just 5 left to shoot. Rouet takes it, misses the net. And that'll be a shot clock violation. Rubish will scoop it up in the rush. If they can get going quickly, might have numbers. Garland for Rubish, takes the shot low. Rebound chance, and another save by Ward. Rubish has been feeling it early in this season, almost had a third. But Ward came up big. Now back the other way. Come the Mammoth. Stewart fended off by Mike Messenger. The Rush very, very wary of this Mammoth transition game. Malloy into the middle looking for Kinnear. And a stop by Evan Kirk.
Now listen, this Kinnear, he's a dangerous player. And the Rush might not have a very good scout on him, but you got to be wary of where he is on the floor. He loves to catch inside, and he's very elusive.
There's Schattler with it, backs away from his man. Into the middle, takes it back. Schattler shot. That was blocked in front. McIntosh picks it up. 12 to shoot. Low shot. Keenan stopped by Dylan Ward, and Dylan Ward is in his zone right now.
It's going to be tough to beat. I mean, that's a good point-blank chance there for Keenan, and looking low, but nothing there.
Rouet with it for Colorado. Just over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Mammoth already have outscored their first half output from last night with the 4 goals. They had just 3 at the half, and now a penalty call coming to Saskatchewan as Ward heads to the bench. Chance in front for Wardle, he scores! A delayed penalty call coming, and the Mammoth grab their first lead of the night. It's 5-4 on Wardle's second of the night.
Yeah, that's concerning right there for Saskatchewan. The penalty, okay, but then everybody kind of stopped playing and was like, that's a penalty? And look how wide open. You have to play to the whistle here, and the Rush did not do that on that defensive set, and it cost him a goal. Chris Wardle with his second, and the Mammoth in front for the first time here tonight now, 5-4. And give them credit here, battling back from a 3-0 deficit here to take a 1-goal lead with 3:50 to go to recess.
Rouet and Lee get the assists on that goal for Chris Wardle, his 9th of the season, second here tonight in Colorado, in front for the first time. And they have scored 5 of the last 6 goals here in this contest. And looking for more are the Mammoth after winning another face-off. Here's Wardle, back for Malloy. Malloy looking for her first NLL goal, takes that shot, just missed. Back comes Mike Messenger, shrugs off a man, gets some room. Now passes it to Ryan Keenan, and finally Robert Church completes the change. 15 on the shot clock. Church for Matthews, takes that shot, bounces wide. And Capito first to the rebound, brings it back up the floor. Numbers perhaps here for Colorado, but a good job by Holden Garland to get in the lane and slow down the Mammoth attack. Wardle now with it. Still 15 to shoot. McLaughlin, watched by Thompson, back across for Wardle. Into the middle comes Wardle, that a low shot, easy save for Evan Kirk. And he'll quickly send it up the floor. Out of the reach of Jeremy Thompson, however, a little bit too ambitious on that pass from Evan Kirk. Under 2.5 to go now in the second quarter. Rouet down low for Lee. Now up top, it's Kinnear. Steps to the middle. Hossack was waiting. Kinnear leaves it off for McLaughlin. Hossack on him, forces him in behind the goal, and a wild pass out front, a hope and a prayer, not answered that time as Ryan Dilks steals it away for Saskatchewan. Matt Hossack, cross for Church. Wheels, fires, skips that off the left leg of Dylan Ward, high up into the air and out of play, and that is going to take us to our final timeout here in the first half. Under 2 to go. We'll be back with the conclusion. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Welcome back to Saskatoon. It's SaskTel Center. The Saskatchewan Rush now trailing the Colorado Mammoth by a 5-4 score. On February 1st, the San Diego Seals are making history and hosting these Colorado Mammoth for the first NLL game to be played in Las Vegas. For more information, visit sealslax.com/Vegas. Vegas. That should be
Vegas,
a
baby.
whole heck of a lot of fun. A lot warmer, too, I would imagine, than it is here in Saskatoon this evening. A balmy minus 23 degrees Celsius for a daytime high today. But it's hot inside the building here. We've got a hot game going between these two West Division rivals.
Yeah, just about what we predicted here, Flats. I mentioned off the top, I think it's a race to 10, a race to 11 here tonight. We're right on pace for that. 5-4 with 1:49 here to go in the second quarter. It's rush possession out of the timeout.
And you know Saskatchewan would love to get one here and at least be tied heading into the room. If not, perhaps score now and add another one to grab the lead. But right now it's all about this possession, and Mark Matthews starting things off. McIntosh across for Keenan. Matthews disrupting things in the middle now, takes the feed and swings it across for McIntosh. Rush with lots of movement on this set. Church across to Matthews, now behind the net. Dunk attempt, but Ward was ready and waiting for that try by Ryan Keenan. Didn't materialize quickly enough.
No, not even close.
And the Mammoth take over with under 1:20 to go in the second quarter.
And some goalies are just better at stopping the dunk attempt than others for some reason.
Well, Dylan Ward, plenty of size to get over to that post. And here's Wardle, dives and scores. What a goal by Chris Wardle. It's a hat trick in the first half. And the Mammoth are starting to roll. They're up 6-4.
Yeah, they are really working that left side or the right side for the lefties here. And again, this time it's Hossack that gets beat underneath by Wardle. And again, it's Wardle coming across the crease, laying out and looking for a pipe on Evan Kirk and checking the tippy toes there. Look good. And it's 6-4 Mammoth with 65 seconds to go in this opening half. As Keenan, late in the half here, Flats might as well give this one a challenge. And maybe if we see this down in slow motion, we'll see a toe touchdown. I'm not sure if it's skimmed off the carpet or not here, but late in the half, you might as well throw the challenge flag here, and we'll see as the referee, Gardonio, will step into the booth and review this one.
Let's listen in as Mark Gardonio reviews this call.
What happened there? Can you hear me up there? Okay. It's hard to hear you, so. Okay, go ahead.
It is loud in the building, so Mark Gardonio also having trouble hearing and communicating, but as he takes a look now.
Okay, roll that back, please. Roll that back. Yep. Roll back, back. Okay, right there. Slow down. Frame.
Watch the feet here of Wardle is what we're watching here, but I want to watch the second foot dragging behind as well, Flats. Right there. I think that toe was touching in the red Tim Hortons turf there.
It does look to be the case.
Watch the shadow of the toe underneath the shoe. If we can wind that back, fellas, I think that's the look we're looking for here. But let's watch this one now.
This might be the best one.
It's the back foot, that one right there. Is that touching down?
Oh, I think it is.
I think so too.
Guys, listen to what I'm asking, please. Keep going. Roll it back now, please. Keep rolling. Roll forward.
Now that foot there, okay. It's this one coming into the crease now that is in question, and I think it goes down for a half second, then comes back up again.
Looked like the toe pressed just a little bit. Of course, the men in stripes will have the final word here, but good challenge. Might as well take it here by Derek Keenan, as you're also getting a chance to slow things down. I know there's only a minute left in the half, but the snowball's rolling here for the Mammoth right now, and even if this challenge doesn't for the run, give it a chance to talk to the team a little bit here and just settle things down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's almost the perfect time. Even if this goal counts, it's a chance to kind of break momentum here a little bit and refocus if you're Saskatchewan. And hey, if they get the goal called back, all the better. But either way, I think we're just about ready for a call.
Slow. Okay. Is that everything, fellas? Okay. Okay, thanks.
Gardonio's seen enough. And here he is with the call.
After review, due to inconclusive evidence, the Fuller and Collins floor stands, we have a good goal.
So you heard him, it just wasn't conclusive enough. We thought maybe we could see the toe down, but even just by saying that word maybe, that's right there kind of reveals that it just wasn't quite conclusive enough. And therefore, the call on the floor stands at 6-4 Mammoth.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where if it was called no goal, it would have stood as a no goal, but because it was called as a goal, they just didn't have the evidence to overturn it. So it stands 6-4 Colorado as they continue their impressive play here in this opening half.
So it is a hat trick for Chris Wardle. Give him 10 goals on the year. Assists on that one going to Ryan Lee and Eli McLaughlin. So the Rush winning that faceoff. Importantly, now can they get one back here before the end of the half? A wild pass from Matthews doesn't connect. McIntosh can't reel in the loose ball, and it's Capito who comes up with it for Colorado. Surprise, surprise. Joey Capito scores! What a scorcher from Joey Capito, low to the far side. That one gets by Evan Kirk. It's 7-4 Mammoth.
Yeah, that's a stinger there on Kirk in the Rush. As Capito really, Flat's just looking to get the quick shot for the 2-for-1 possession. I don't know, I mean, obviously he's trying to score, but from that area and that side of the floor, this is when Kirk should stop, and it beats him cleanly to the stick side. He's just looking to get a shot on target there and go play defense so they can get final possession of the quarter. This thing ends up in the back of the goal, and now a big face-off coming up here as the Rush find themselves down 3.
Well, that all started with a sloppy offensive possession at the other end of the floor as the Rush won the face-off but gave the ball away within seconds. And seconds later, it's in the back of their net. It's a 3-goal lead for the Mammoth. They have scored 7 of the last 8 goals in this contest. Matthews across for Keenan, his pass. Or Church rather's pass is knocked down. Mammoth will get possession, and Pat Coyle calling the timeout with 22.6 left on the clock.
Now let's not forget, Ryan Flaherty, this game was once 3-0 Saskatchewan. And now it stands at 7-4 Colorado. And what a response from the Mammoth, who played last night in Vancouver, lose that game 7-5. Well, they've already eclipsed their goal total from a night ago by a couple, and we're not even halfway through the contest here, and they're up 3 on the Rush on their home floor, and couldn't be more impressed with the way the Mammoth are playing right now.
As we take a look at some of the work by Chris Wardle, who has 3 of Colorado's goals. He also had a post you just saw right there. Wardle has been feeling it here tonight. Eli McLaughlin has a pair as well. And yes, quite a turnaround after a raucous start for the Rush. The first 5 minutes, they had 3 goals past Ward, but Dylan Ward, as he's done so many times before, settling in, finding his zone.
Well, you get no easy ones on him, right? There's no free ones, there's no stinkers, there's no one. He wishes he had that one back. That doesn't happen against Dylan Ward.
Who has been very good to start this season, maybe giving up a couple that he'd like back here in this first half.
Quickly here, folks, if you love the NLL, you'll love all the highlights on our social media channels. Get the best goals, saves, and during the games and during the week on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and
last second possession for the Mammoth. Kill the Lee. Here's McLaughlin back to Killen. Now Lee, shot misses on the near side. That'll bring us to the end of the first half, and the Mammoth with quite the response here in the second quarter, jumping up 7-4. We're going to have an interview in just a moment here, but let me tell you first that coming up on NLL at the half, Devin Caney tags along with San Diego Seals forward Wes Berg to see how he and his teammates are growing the game in Southern California. Highlights and analysis of the first half and a look around the league are all coming up in just moments, but right now, Daniela is standing by with the hat-trick scorer, Chris Wardle.
My goodness, Chris, what a first half. It's only been a first half, can you believe it? A hat trick already. What was it like, though, when you started this game seeing 3-0 on that board?
I mean, we knew they were going to come out hot, and Coach challenged us after our game last night to stay steady, stay focused, and committed to our plan, which is what we did, and we're now in a game.
You have so much energy and just fuel out there. What is motivating you guys right now?
Our game last night, we were embarrassed last night. We knew today we had to come out strong, stick to our game plan, and just keep moving, and we're going to do it.
And aside from embarrassment, of course, that was a divisional loss last night. You're playing for to keep this series tied with the Rush. How important is that?
It's important. Every divisional game is huge, and to keep a series tied or take the series, you got to come committed and ready to go every game.
Now, this might seem like an obvious question, but what do you need to keep doing in the second half? I mean, normally with the Rush, it is so close, and we saw that already in the first half.
We know that they're going to come back hard. We're going to stay committed to our plan, but we're going to play like it's 0-0. We're just going to keep grinding.
Now, lastly, we spoke with Rush captain Chris Corbeil right before the game, and he said they were going to try to wear you out. How are you feeling, honestly, in terms of your energy right now?
Energy is good. We're playing our offense, and we're not tired, so we're going to stick to our offense, and we'll be good to go.
Thanks so much, Chris. Congratulations, and good luck. Back to you guys.
All right, a slow start for the Mammoth, but a hot finish to that second half as they are up 7-4, and we will be back with NLL at the half. Scores and a lot more coming up. You're watching the NLL on BR Live.
Growing the game is a phrase
many in the lacrosse community are familiar with, but for new fans and those just tuning in, no one works harder to spread awareness and their love of the game than the players of the National Lacrosse League. Devin Caney was able to tag along with San Diego Seals forward Wes Berg to find out how the team is breaking down barriers and creating a buzz about box lacrosse in Southern California.
Good shot. You'll see kids who have literally never picked a stick up in their life, and then you'll have kids who've played for 6 or 7 years with some talent. There you go, good shot. We split them up and kind of make it interesting and fun for all of them, and we get quite a few coaches out there with a lot of experience coaching kids and at the youth level, and some kids who have played before. So we just show up and we bring a bunch of sticks and some balls, and sometimes we're told there's 20 kids and 60 or 70 will show up, so that's always good to see, and we kind of coach on the fly and change some things up depending on the skill level. Good shot. There we go, we're getting the hang of it, eh? Good.
Something that I feel like people in our lacrosse world are always talking about is growing the game. Is that the goal, to kind of get either new players or fans?
Definitely. So we're trying to not only bring lacrosse to some areas around here, different demographics that might have never even seen lacrosse before, kind of trying to break those barriers and get in there and get some kids who've never even heard of it before, and a lot of times they pick it up, and some kids are just naturals at it and they love it and they start playing it, and their little brother might pick it up and they come out to a game, which is awesome to see, and sometimes they decide, no, baseball or soccer or football is for them. After we shoot, we got to go down low, right? We need some passers down there. A lot of times in the North County, there's some areas where lacrosse has been there for quite some time, and there's a lot of people from the East Coast where their parents had played, and so they've already seen lacrosse, but we're trying to show them indoor lacrosse. So we hope to get you guys out to some games. If you haven't been to a box lacrosse game, they're a lot of fun. Some kids who've been introduced to the field game but may have never seen box or may have never played box before.
Growing up, I never had access to a professional football player with the Colts when they were in Baltimore. Baseball players, the Orioles, were never around. We never got a chance to shake someone's hand that was a professional athlete unless we just bumped into them by accident at a grocery store and you were too nervous to go up and talk to them. So you guys all have a tremendous opportunity to be on a field, to be here today, talk to guys highest level of a sport and learn from them and grow with the sport. So we really appreciate you guys being out here. It's been good.
All right, let's break it down. Let's break it down. Sticks up. Sticks up. Yeah. One, two, three.
Great stuff as we see Rough Riders quarterback Cody Fajardo throwing some passes to some lucky fans here at SaskTel Center as we continue with NLL at the half as the Colorado Mammoth lead it 7-4 over the Saskatchewan Rush. And back inside SaskTel Center as halftime continues. The Saskatchewan Rush got a great start, 3-0, but now trail the Colorado Mammoth 7-4. Ryan Flaherty alongside Jake Elliott, kind of a tale of two quarters.
It really was, and you got to give the Mammoth a lot of credit. Playing last night in Vancouver on the road, another road game, a time zone travel, and to get down 3-0 in the hole, you kind of thought, oh man, this could be the Rushers' night and they're going to run away with this thing. Not the case, as the Mammoth go on to score 7 out of the next 8 goals here, take a 3-goal lead into the half. And sometimes when you play the night before, it can work for you. Your gloves are feeling good, your stick's dialed in, the focus is there, you're in the rhythm of the offense, and I think that was the case for the Mammoth. Yeah, they got off to a bit of a slow start, but you can tell that they're fresh in their rhythm, and the energy level seems to be there for them as well. So we'll see what happens in the second half. Rush usually a very strong team in the second half, and we'll see if the fatigue starts to set in the back 30.
Well, you saw some of the numbers there just a moment ago. Chris Wardle with the hat trick in the first half. What do you think the Rush have to do defensively to adjust here in the second?
Yeah, I think it's more defensively is they're getting too spread out, and the Mammoth are going from a strong side set, so the guys on the 3-man side of the offense, and they're taking a guy away from that side of the floor and sending him across to the wrong side of the floor for him. But that's leaving a 2-man game open, and they're just stretching out that Rush defense a little too much. So they got to pack it in, be ready to help.
Some of the numbers between the two teams, shots on goal dead even. Dylan Ward right now out-dueling Evan Kirk a little bit, and I would say we don't have the numbers up on the screen, but have to think the Mammoth are winning the loose ball battle as well through the opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty safe assumption, and you're right. Besides the Capito goal, I don't really want to hang anything on Evan Kirk. I think that Capito goal obviously is one he should have stopped, but you really got to work for your goals against Dylan Ward. He just does not give up bad ones, and we'll see if the Rush can kind of get their offense going in this second half.
Absolutely. It is going to be coming up in just a couple of minutes' time, and we'll see if the Rush can mount a response here in the third quarter on their home turf, still looking for that first home win this season. We'll be back with the third quarter. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
The NLL on BR Live is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. And by Alterna Bank, Canada's end-to-end digital bank. Alterna puts the good in banking. Visit alternabank.ca to learn more.
Back live inside SaskTel Center as the teams are just returning to the floor. We're just about a minute and a half away from third quarter action, and the Rush, after a hot start, looking to get back on the front foot here in this third quarter.
Breaking news here, Ryan Flaherty. Not only did the Rochester Nighthawks get their first win in their franchise history, the New York Riptide in overtime just beat the Georgia Swarm 13-. What is going on in Week 8, Flats?
Week 8 is having a ball. Week 8 is having a ball. I love seeing those results. Great games across the league. Great for to see a couple teams get their first wins. That's just great for the league as a whole. And some great tight scores tonight. Yeah. I think we're going to have another one here tonight. We haven't heard the last of the Rush. And now Daniela Ponticelli is standing by floor level with Rush assistant coach Jeremy Talevi.
Jeremy, I think it's fair to say this is not the start that the Rush won. What is the game plan going into the second half?
Well, I think we need to work a bit harder. They've been out working us at both ends of the floor. We'll make some adjustments on defense, but really they're a good team. They're playing well, and we got to step our game up both ends of the floor.
Now, prior to the game starting, Corbeil said they wanted to wear down the team that's playing the back-to-back. What is the next step to that if it didn't quite work in the first half?
Well, we need to play harder, be more physical, and I think take advantage of them in transition.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Daniela. Now, we spoke a moment ago about what the Rush need to do to adjust, but for the Mammoth, it seems to be keep things going. Whatever's working, keep on doing it.
Well, that's really what it's like. And Cody Fajardo in the best. It's very similar to football, right? If you're doing things well in that opening half, you don't want to change it. But if you're doing things not so well in that opening half, then you want to make those adjustments and see if you can find the recipe. And if there's one thing I know about Jeff McComb, he is very good at making adjustments on the fly for that rush offense. We'll see if he can do that for half number 2 as blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse.
You heard the man. The third quarter is underway. Saskatchewan Rush winning the face-off. Jeremy Thompson picking it up and leaves it for Mark Matthews as the Rush try to cut into this deficit early here in the third quarter. And they have been a first-half team largely this season, so it'll be a challenge now to see what they can do offensively here against a stout Mammoth D, as that shot from Church is kicked out by Dylan Ward. Church will get the reset.
That's a real good opening look there. Church will take that one all the time if he can get it. Just another good stop.
McIntosh across for Matthews. Gillis on him, back for McIntosh. He has a lane, gets in tight, and just bounces it wide. Matthews, though, picks it up off the end board. Still 12 on the shot clock. Matthews trying to back down Sullivan, now across for Dinsdale. Takes it in with one hand, now circles behind the goal. Running out of time now out front. McIntosh, though, tough pass to take. And Capito will take over for Colorado.
Good luck from Dinsdale, but handcuffed McIntosh. Kind of put it in the breadbasket there.
So the first set does not bear fruit for the Rush, and the Mammoth now looking to stretch their lead as they go to work on offense for the first time. McLaughlin, quick shot. Kirk read that, came across, made the save. Hossack gets some help from Messenger, who scoops up that loose ball and relieves the pressure, sending it across to Jeff Cornwall. Jeff Schattler had a goal in that first half, still waiting to see if he can get that 500th assist here tonight.
It's coming.
And here is Schattler looking to maybe find someone, takes the shot, and that is stopped by Ward, but good job by Robinson to knock the ball free from Stewart, and in comes Schattler to get a fresh 30.
Dylan Ward lucky to get away with that. Kind of swept Robinson's stick away. That's a penalty.
Dinsdale. McIntosh trying to create a screen. Dinsdale just bobbles the ball with a little bit of help from the Mammoth D, and here they come 2-on-1. Chance on goal, they score in transition. What a goal for Warren Jeffrey. That's his first National Cross League goal for the first round draft pick.
Get that ball for the Mimico product there, Warren Jeffrey, as he comes in and finds the short side 7-hole on Evan Kirk through the midsection and elbow. And that's 8-4 now for the Mammoth, as I was going to go back and say, first goal of this second half is going to be a big one, and the Mammoth get it, and their biggest lead of the night here, courtesy of their first round pick, Warren Jeffrey.
So the Rush unable to score on their first possession. The Mammoth, they come up with another goal here, the first of the National Lacrosse League career of one Warren Jeffrey, the 6th overall pick in the 2019 NLL draft. And it was a good draft for the Mammoth, as they had 4 picks in the first 31 this year. So that bodes well for not just the present, but the future as well.
Absolutely.
Brian Keenan now, as the Rush try to find something. They haven't scored in quite a while. Keenan, no room. Cross for Church. McIntosh trying to find a lane. Passes across, but sticks in the lanes by the Mammoth. And Stewart picks it up for Robert Hope, and he will trot across the timeline. And leaves it for Ryan Lee. 3 minutes gone by now in this third quarter. Mammoth have added another to their lead. It's 8-4. Chris Wardle. Across for Killen, shot stopped by Kirk. There's a loose ball in front. The Rush get to it. It's still on the carpet, however. Jeff Cornwall can't get it in. Now several bodies come together, and eventually the Colorado player stepping on the crease line, so it'll be possession awarded to Saskatchewan.
Can't go through the crease and be the first player to touch the ball.
Back for Church. Schattler completes the change. Church for McIntosh. And across, Connor Robinson back to McIntosh, fires and scores! And McIntosh, there's the goal the Rush desperately needed. It's 8-5.
And I want you to watch the replay here, Ryan Flaherty, and I'll tell you why this goal was successful. Watch the ball. It goes from McIntosh across the zone and then comes right back. And what that does, that gets Dylan Ward moving back and forth across his goal line. And the quick release from Benny Mack. No time to get set, find your angle. And McIntosh able to beat Dylan Ward. Big goal there for Saskatchewan to get them back within 3.
And career goal number 200 for Ben McIntosh as he reaches that milestone. He's been very good ever since he got into the league. Now he's got 8 goals this season, 2 tonight, and a very important goal for the Rush to get some footing here offensively against this tough Mammoth defense. But now Saskatchewan taking a penalty off the face-off as Mike Messenger is headed to the box, and not the way that you want to come out after scoring a goal.
That's a momentum killer right there for sure. Illegal cross-check on Messenger, and listen, the motor runs hot for Messenger at the best of times, and sometimes it'll get the better of him, and it did there. As we're going to welcome the Saskatchewan Rushrider quarterback into the booth here momentarily.
Yes, we're going to have some special guests here joining us in a couple of minutes. Right now, though, the Mammoth going to work on the power play, killing across behind the net. Dunk attempt stopped by Kirk. He was wise to that move, and the Rush bring it back up. See if they can maybe get a short-handed marker here and trim this lead down to 2.
Crucial stop there for Ward off the dunk attempt.
And we know the Rush penalty kill has struggled this season, and this is a big moment for them. They need a kill in a big way right now.
These two teams sitting 10th and 11th, I believe, in penalty kill percentage.
Good shot by Robert Church right there as Ward makes that stop, and Dan Coates, the Mammoth captain, will come up with that loose ball. Still a minute and 15 seconds remaining in the man advantage. He'll leave it for Ryan Lee. Lee with 3 assists in that first half, adding to his team-leading point totals. Killen now leaves it for McLaughlin. Takes that hot shot. Kirk shoulders that aside, up and out of play. Ball will stay with Colorado. 57 seconds to work on the power play.
A very deceptive release on the overhand shot from McLaughlin. Tough to pick up as a goaltender what corner he's shooting for.
So the Mammoth still with possession here. McLaughlin for Killen, and back to McLaughlin. Now Kyle Killen takes that one, was deflected in front by the Rush, and here they come in transition. Chris Corbeil has a lane. Will he take it? Corbeil right to the goal, bounces it off the post. Looked off his man, had the man coming off the bench, and almost fooled Dylan Ward right there. But right off the goal frame goes the Rush captain.
Tough luck for Captain Corbeil there. Real good opportunity, and the red iron bailing out Dylan Ward that time.
So 15 seconds remaining in the power play here. Mammoth will see if they'll go for a shot or wait for the man to come out of the box. You often see in this kind of situation. What a 5-second differential in the penalty and the shot clock. There is the shot. It bounces up over the net. 5 to shoot. McLaughlin gets it back. Long shot, easy save for Kirk. And out of the box comes Messenger. Kirk, though, goes with the safe pass to Jeremy Thompson. Holden Garland instead.
You want to get your defense off the floor there, get the offense on after a long penalty kill. Work at 30 here if you're the Rush offense.
Messenger will stay on the floor though and get that big body to work. Now Robinson's doing some work as Messenger has gone off. McIntosh long shot, swallowed up by Dylan Ward. We'll get a whistle, and that will take us to immediate timeout here with 8:54 remaining in the third quarter. The Mammoth got the first goal, but the Rush have replied. It's 8-5 Colorado. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
It's pretty crazy, eh? It's about, half the size of a Ryder Cup, but indoors. It's loud.
We are back inside SaskTel Center as the Colorado Mammoth lead the Saskatchewan Rush. 8-5 is the score, and we're about to resume play, but we've got a special guest with us up in the booth. It's Prairie Pride Night in Saskatchewan, and there's a lot of pride for these fans. For Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, an adopted son of Saskatchewan now, Cody. Welcome to Saskatoon. Welcome to your first Rush game. What are your first impressions?
Well, stepping off the airplane into minus 40-degree weather, I think that was my first baptism to being a Saskatchewan. But this Rush game is incredible. The fans, the atmosphere, the players are very talented, and I got a lot of respect for these guys. Running around and getting whacked with a stick for 60 minutes is pretty brutal.
You had a chance to practice with some of the guys on the Rush last night, but now watching the game and the live speed of this game, how does that compare to sort of your experience last night?
Yeah, it was a very low-key practice because it was the night before the game, so nothing as intense as this. And these guys are just incredible athletes, and what they can do in their hand-eye coordination, catching the ball and working, their stick. It was a lot of fun for me yesterday to take some shots on shooter, and I had guys like Churchy teaching me how to shoot and stuff, and so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like you had some natural abilities there. I know we were talking last night. You had an opportunity perhaps to play a little bit of lacrosse in high school, ended up choosing a different sport. So this is really your first exposure to lacrosse, is it not?
Yeah, it is. My freshman year in high school, we actually got a lacrosse team, and it overlapped with my baseball schedule, so I wasn't supposed to play. It's just a fascinating sport. I think it's super cool, and people really enjoy it.
But we have a penalty call here coming against the Rush. It's Kyle Rubish going to the box for holding. He doesn't like the call. The crowd doesn't like the call. Well, what do you think of the fans here in SaskTel Center, Cody?
It's definitely a dynamic that the players love to run out of the tunnel. I got some goosebumps even running out of the tunnel with the team. The fans are right on top of you, and you can hear everything, and I think it gives them some energy. My favorite part about the game is how the music plays throughout, and I think guys can kind of vibe, and there's no lull in the game.
Wouldn't work so well in football, though, would it? Calling signals with big, loud tunes pumping, hey?
I don't think so, yeah. A lot of people, when we're on offense, we're supposed to be quiet, but here you're supposed to cheer when they're on offense.
And that is not something the Rush fans are going to cheer about, because it's a power play goal for the Colorado Mammoth as Chris Wardle gets his 4th goal of the game. So fans were having a good time early, Cody, but unfortunately lately it's been mostly Colorado.
You know what, when I was sitting in my seat, we were up 4-1, so I'm a big superstitious guy. I think I got to get back to my seat and get us some good luck going.
Well, before we let you get back to your seat, I do want to ask you a little bit about the upcoming season, because obviously 2019 was a transformational year for you in your football career. What is it like for you now going into year 2, knowing you're the guy, you're the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
That's exactly it. It'll be my first time where I'm the actual starter from day one. I think we started off slow in the year. We were 1-4, and a lot of that was because I was taking 2 and 3 reps. I wasn't with the 1, so it took us some time to gel. So I'm just excited to put my feet on the ground and start from the beginning. Hiring Coach Moss is going to be huge for our offense. We're going to be very dynamic, and already the conversations I've had with him, I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be a little bit different training camp scrums for you coming up in Saskatoon this summer. I know you had a bit of an injury you dealt with at the end of last season, but we got to see you throwing some passes here at halftime. How do you feel being able to actually get back out and do some of that now? Because I know it's been a bit of a rehab process for you.
Yeah, 2 months. The last time I threw a pass was the shot heard around the world, I guess. So it was good to be out there and throwing the football again. Brought back a lot of good memories, especially being in Saskatchewan throwing the football. So I'm just excited to get to training and get to work. We're hosting the Grey Cup this year, and our goal is Grey Cup. And there's 9 teams in this league, and somebody's got to win the Grey Cup. So my motto going into this is why not us? Why not us at home?
And it is at home, as you said. Nothing better than a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan. It'll be quite the scene in November, and I know the fans in this province would love nothing more to see another Riders home Grey Cup just like in 2013. Cody, thanks so much for joining us here for a few minutes. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Please enjoy the rest of the game and all the hospitality that the Rush have to offer here. And yeah, have a great 2020 season. Can't wait to see you on the field next season.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the Rush hospitality has been amazing, and I'm a big fan of lacrosse now, and I'm a big Rush fan now, so I've adopted this team.
All right, well, maybe we'll see a few more games down the line. That's Cody Fajardo, Saskatchewan Roughriders starting quarterback, your big QB in green and white. As we return to the action here, the Mammoth have taken that 9-5 lead on the power play goal by Chris Wardle. His 4th of the game. And Jake, you were taking a closer look at the action while I was busy talking with Cody there, and what have you seen in the last couple minutes?
Well, again, I don't see the urgency right now that I'd like to see out of the Rush, and maybe a little flat-footed and ball watching a little bit too much as well, and they just need to ramp it up a little bit. I think get the intensity up and start making these Mammoth offensive players pay a little bit when they come down in the zone.
Mammoth with possession right now, looking to get to double digits here. Something that they've only done in 2 of their first 6 games this season, despite their 3-3 record.
And I talked about the race to 10, and the Mammoth 1 goal away from that, and the Rush still 5 goals away from that as we get a shot clock violation here. And listen, I don't think the Rush are playing their best lacrosse right now, but with that being said, I think the Mammoth are playing real good lacrosse right now, and the game plan that Pat Coyle and his coaching staff have brought into Saskatoon here is working perfectly.
And they seem to be in the heads right now of the Saskatchewan Rush, as Connor Robinson does it well to pull in that loose ball and get a reset for Saskatchewan.
And this is what they need to do.
Low shot, stopped by Ward.
There's
Robinson
another.
again with a fresh 30. The energy and the tempo pick up just a little bit here for this Rush offense. McIntosh across the top, finds Schattler down low, fakes twice, gets it back to McIntosh. He bobbles the pass though, and it kicks around. Joey Capito eventually ends up with it for the Mammoth.
I mean, that's a good possession. The look was there, just not the finish. But something to build off of.
As Jacob Rouet takes over. Now Kyle Killen will give it back to the Rooster. Looking for an open man. Now wheels out of the corner. Cross for Kinnear, now McLaughlin. Going one-on-one with Thompson. Cross, there's a shot right on.
There's another
Kyle
good.
Killen was looking for a goal.
I'm sorry, Foss, but another good example there of the Mammoth and how they're stretching that rush defense out. Is a good chance there for Church off the short side pipe. But those swings across the defensive zone, they're happening right through the teeth of the defense. And you just can't let that happen as we got to go to break.
Absolutely. We will take a timeout here. 4:36 remaining in the third quarter. Colorado leading it 9-5. You're watching the NLL on PR Live. Back inside SaskTel Center as the Colorado Mammoth lead the Saskatchewan Rush 9-5. Bit of contest going on the turf here, so that'll allow Jake to fill you in on some things that are coming up in the NLL.
Yeah, some serious props out on the turf here. Cheese, a banana bread, some steak out there, carrots. I don't know what's going on. Cue the Don Ho music here, Ryan Flaherty. Aloha, Mammoth fans. The Mammoth will return to the Pepsi Center on Saturday, January the 25th at 7:30 p.m. for Beach Party at the Loud House. Dust off your Hawaiian shirt. If your Hawaiian shirt's getting dusty, you got a problem to begin with. But dust it off and throw on the board shorts. Join us for the most tropical night of the season. Maybe some Rush fans should head down that way. They could probably use a tropical night. Tropical night of the season. Tickets start at $10, Ryan Flaherty. Check it out at coloradomammoth.com for Beach Party night at the Loud House.
We'll have to see what our friend Teddy Jenner pulls out of his closet. He's always got some kind of Hawaiian get up. Here we're looking at some of the plays. The Colorado Mammoth, and you know, defense and goaltending have really been the strength for the Rush this season, but the Mammoth have found something here this evening, and they're kind of carving up the Rush on the back end right now.
Yeah, they're finding seams through the Rush defense, and that's not normally something we see, but those, like I said, those swing passes across through the zone are getting through the sticks and the defenders of the Rush, and that's making it difficult for Evan Kirk to go post to post and find his angle for those quick stick shots. And Wardle having himself a night here for Colorado with 4 on the evening.
And the score right now virtually identical to what it was around this time in the Rush's first home game against New England, as they were behind in that game as well. Now they have to play some comeback. Bit of an odd split for the Rush so far. 3-0 on the road, but 0-1 at home and in danger of going to 0-2 unless they can mount a second half comeback. Matthews trying to make that happen. His shot, though, is off target and out of play. And Colorado will take possession.
And that's the other thing, when a goaltender like Dylan Ward starts to settle in and starts to feel it, then as a shooter, you think, okay, if I'm going to score here tonight, I need to pick the corner. And then you end up trying to place your shot a little too much, and you end up missing the target like Matthews did right there.
So the Mammoth going back to work. Ryan Lee skips it across, now into the middle. There were 2 teammates in the same spot, though, and that turns into a Rush possession. And here they come with numbers. Travis Cornwall to Jeff. That shot off the back of Sullivan and out of play. It'll be Rush ball. There's some debate over who that ball deflected off of.
Yeah, Dylan Ward trying to say it's off Cornwall, and the officials get together and say, no, that's off Sullivan, and it was off Travis Cornwall. Fortunate bounce there for the Rush. They'll see if they can take advantage. Right off the back of the melon there. That does not feel good.
There's some brotherly love.
Not the first time that's happened.
McIntosh for Church as he cuts it in the middle. Matthews back for Robert Church. There is Ben McIntosh. 2 goals tonight. Ball knocked free, though. An aggressive defense there by Warren Jeffrey, who has his first NLL goal this evening. Matthews now working into the middle for Schattler. He is denied by Dylan Ward.
That is a courageous catch in traffic there. Got the shot off. Dylan Ward makes the stop.
Back come the Mammoth. Sullivan for Ryan Lee now. He'll hustle off to the bench. Killen hopping over the boards, takes the pass. Now Killen, long shot, stopped by Evan Kirk. Outlet. Back come the rush. Chris Corbeil with that red stick head, easy to spot out there on the floor.
Team Canada, captain.
A lot of members of that Canadian side represented here between these two teams. World Championship world winners earlier last summer.
Too many to list, really.
Really. That ball will be out of play and goes back to the rush. Ryan Keenan trying to find an opening as Dinsdale. Down low, now up top, McIntosh, good ball movement, but Ward even better.
Yeah, they've been working on that play this morning on shoot around. It worked there, but again, the wall, 45 there to get in front.
Oh, Dylan Ward, you could see at the end of last night's game, he was almost exasperated. Not with his defense, just in frustration in general. What do you do?
Hold
You
the
give
team
up
to
7
goals and you lose.
Yeah, exactly. He is dialed in here tonight. The Rush have barely had a sniff since the first quarter. Back for Rouet. That shot deflected by the stick of Travis Cornwall, and Evan Kirk will gather it in and leave it for Jeff Cornwall.
2 to go here in quarter 3.
Now Jeff Schattler with it, and the Rush narrow the gap here before the end of the frame.
Need one.
Mark Matthews will scoop it off the turf. Schattler fakes the pass, comes up top, now for Matthews. Little move to the outside, back for Schattler. And a great stick by Taylor Stewart stepping in the way of that pass, and he brings it back up.
Yeah, gotta shoot that ball if you're Schattler.
Stewart thinks about it, takes the shot, and Evan Kirk getting just enough of that to keep it out. Good bounce for the Rush. It comes right to Thompson, and he heads up the floor. He's got a man with him, takes the shot, and Dylan Ward stands tall.
And I don't know if Wardo stopped that one, but it hit him and stayed out.
Back come the Mammoth. Gillis will leave it for Ryan Lee. Now Jacob Rouet with it.
Technically, he did stop it. I don't know if he saved it though.
He stood tall.
There you go.
He stood in front of the ball. There's a wild pass over the head of Kyle Killen, who had switched sides. Now back to his normal spot, takes that shot, and Evan Kirk makes the save. Kyle Rubish with the loose ball scoop. Under a minute to play here in the third quarter.
Now, let's see when Saskatchewan shoots this ball here. 45 on the clock. I think they go 2 for 1. They do.
Matthews tries to shoot, but Gillis blocks it with the stick. And Matthews just hasn't been able to get anything going tonight. Just has 1 goal and 1 assist. 3 quarters into this game. 22 points coming in. Just 2 for the mailman. Ryan Lee for Jacob Rouet. Now the Mammoth with about a 10-second differential, game clock and shot clock. McLaughlin taking a beating inside, just scoops the ball into the corner. That's going to be a shot clock violation against Colorado, so the Rush will get the ball.
Yeah, don't want to use your timeout here, Flats. You want to go on the fly, but just 10 seconds. Messenger going to leg this one up.
And Kirk hustles to the bench for the extra attacker. And it is Ryan Keenan Matthews into the middle. Messenger fires. That's stopped by Dylan Ward. That'll bring an end to the third quarter. A good look for Messenger in the final seconds. But once again, Dylan Ward comes up with the save. Colorado leading Saskatchewan 9-5 with 1 quarter to go. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live. Back inside SaskTel Center as we get set for the fourth quarter. And before we do, let us send it back down to Daniela Ponticelli. What do you got for us?
Ryan, the emotions are really running strong here on the Rush bench. Of course, where I'm perched right in between the benches, you get a good, you can hear a lot of action. And even with the noise and the crowd, I could hear the 4-letter words being dropped on that bench. And then right before we went to break, Ben McIntosh telling the refs, hey, Colorado is holding. So we're just seeing a lot of those tensions building, and that may or may not work in their favor as we start this fourth quarter.
And it's a big one coming up here. The Rush need some offense in a hurry, and hard to believe I'm saying this about this team that we've seen score so many goals over the last few years, but this has been an issue for them really all season, and now they're in a tough spot. They need at least 4 goals here in this fourth quarter, and they have not scored a lot in the second half this season.
Yeah, I don't think 9's going to do it here. You're going to need more than 9 if you're saying, blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. We're underway here in the fourth.
And the Mammoth getting possession off that face-off. Chance for them to add to their lead early here in the fourth. Sullivan controls, now leaves it for Rouet and heads off. Ryan Lee for Killen, winds and fires. The windup had more to it than the shot after it was deflected, and here comes Thompson the other way. Has Garland with him, holding Garland, nice move to the net, and a shot stopped by Dylan Ward, but nice nifty move there by the defender, Holden Garland in transition.
And you kind of feel like if the comeback's going to start, it's going to happen coming out of the back end. A defender is going to have to try and spark this comeback with a transition goal.
There just really hasn't been any transition offense for the Rush tonight, something that has been working for them this season. Lee can't find Kinnear. Now Kinnear gathers it in, but takes a big check from Messenger, and now Ryan Dilks comes over to clean up. Jeff Cornwall for Ryan Dilks. Running mates back together with the Rush again this season after both sat out last year to get all trained up as firefighters. Shatler now for McIntosh. Now Ryan Keenan to the corner. There is Jeff Shatler. Trying to work that 2-man, but can't get it going. Gets it over to McIntosh instead. And a routine stop for Dylan Ward right there.
Efficient is the word that comes to mind.
Shots on goal now 42-39 in favor of the Saskatchewan Rush, but they only have 5 past Dylan Ward. Where have we heard that before? Rouet now for Ryan Lee. And Eli McLaughlin, who has a pair of goals this evening. And he really got the spark going for the Mammoth. It was 4-2 when McLaughlin scored back-to-back to tie it up, and really Colorado hasn't looked back since. Mark Matthews now to Ryan Keenan as the Rush gets set up here. Church and Keenan working the middle. McIntosh over the top, but good switch defensively by the Mammoth as Gillis stayed right with McIntosh. And now a outnumbered situation for Colorado as they win that loose ball.
Yeah, but again, Flats, I see it. They're setting up on offense, and there's only, 13, 14 seconds left in the shot clock. I want to see the urgency. Get onto the floor, get set up, get the ball moving.
We have seen that a lot tonight, where their sets aren't getting moving until about halfway into the possession. Wardle now fires and scores. Chris Wardle, everything he's shooting is finding the net tonight. That's 5 for him, and the lead is 5 for Colorado.
I don't know what it is about playing the Saskatchewan Rush for Chris Wardle, but that seems to be when he plays his best lacrosse. And maybe having one of his best games as a pro as he lets the 3/4 sidearm go and skips it into the back of the goal for a 5-goal lead now for the Woolies.
And I do believe Wardle had a 5-goal game against the Rush back in 2017 as well in this building. That was in a loss, a 17-12 loss, but this is a very different situation, and Chris Wardle really starting to put it out of reach. Of course, still plenty of time left, but things just not working for the Rush right now. And another chance as Kirk has to come up with a massive save, or that might have been lights out.
Yeah, he doesn't make that one. He can turn the lights off.
Thompson now coming back the other way. The Mammoth have been so quick out the back gate here tonight as well, shutting down any potential transition opportunities for Saskatchewan. McIntosh trying to find Robinson. It ends up with Matthews. He takes a shot. That's over the net. Matthews uncharacteristically
just a little
off tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the sticks the shots are going an inch wide, an inch high, just a low. You can see him shaking his head right now saying, I got to bury that. That's a good look for me. And you can see the frustration coming off the back of number 42 here. Down 5 are the Rush, 11:39 to go. Power play time as Lintz off to the box.
A longtime member of the Rush, part of their first 2 championship teams, the 2015 in Edmonton and then 2016 here in Saskatoon for the Edmonton, Alberta native.
Now, one of the real good guys in the National Lacrosse League as well, Johnny Lintz.
So a big opportunity for Saskatchewan now as they are 2 for 4 with the man advantage tonight. Matthews Behind the back for Keenan. No lane, now takes it, and the lane still wasn't there. It was blocked and out of play. Fresh 30 for Saskatchewan with 1:43 to go in the man advantage.
Yeah, they got to get the ball hot, get it moving, work that box, and then look for the open look here. Low motion here.
Church finds man inside. It's Schattler, but he's denied one of Ward's best saves of the night.
Wow, what a stop.
Now Schattler again in tight, and another big stop by Kirk. As Jeff Schattler, he does have one, but he should have at least a couple more by now, if not for the heroics of Dylan Ward.
He is making the spectacular save look routine.
Well, you heard it from Chris Wardle at halftime. They have something to prove here tonight after the game that they had last night. He used the word embarrassed, and they are playing like it tonight. A team that is motivated with a fire in the belly. They have not let up here. Ryan Dilks now.
I know we got 10 plus to go here, but man advantage for Saskatchewan. They want to come back in this game. This is must-score territory on this power play right here.
Could not agree with you more. Mark Matthews now into the corner for Schattler. Looking into the middle, there's a fake by Church, but Ward just not biting at all.
No reset.
5 seconds, no reset that time. I thought Ward got a piece, but I guess not. And either way, that last shot attempt doesn't reach the net, and Colorado takes over. Just 25 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Almost identical time with the shot clock, so Colorado can bleed this down, provided they can stay on the rush side of half. Rouet. Back for Wardle. Under 10 to play now in the fourth quarter. 5-goal lead for Colorado. Just unheard of, especially in the regular season. They've lost 8 straight regular season games against the Rush and 11 of the last 13.
Huge kill there for the Mammoth as Lintz out of the box. Back to 5-on-5 we go.
And Robinson being hassled by Johnny Lintz, gets free and finds Marty Dinsdale in the far corner. Dinsdale across from Matthews, trying to find an opening now. Looking for Church, but Church had stepped in the crease, can't pick up that ball, and therefore Colorado's going to take over. But first, we're going to take a time out as the Rush trying to find a spark here and mount some miraculous comeback in the fourth. You're watching the NLL on BR Live. Welcome back to SaskTel Center. It's a 10-5 Mammoth lead, thanks in large part to the job being done once again by Dylan Ward.
And never takes the night off, just 45. He's always going to give you a chance to win. And when this Mammoth offense can hit double digits, good chance they're going into the win column. And they're sitting on 10 right now with 9:18 to go. And the Rush are sitting on 5 with 9:18 to go. And 45, a large reason to do with that.
Coming on the heels of a home opener that was over a month ago, but it was a rough night for the Rush at home, and they are in very, very real danger of falling to 0-2 at home, which is just a very strange thing to say.
And you know, it's been making its ways around the social media circles. The lunatic online asking the Mammoth to trade Dylan Ward. I don't know if he still feels like that, but if he doesn't, he should seek some medical help.
Yeah, nothing wrong with number 45, I can assure you of that. We've got a front row seat as Ryan Lee squeaks one through the wickets on Evan Kirk, and oh boy, the hole gets that much deeper. It's 11-5 Mammoth as Lee gets his first of the night.
Yeah, I don't know if they're coming back from 10-5, and I certainly don't know if they're coming back from 11-5, but this is a stinger from Lee on the sidearm whip for the RIT product. And that one finds the back of the goal. It's 11-5 now, Mammoth, as Kirk looking for where the hole is, where that ball went through.
And there are a few more empty seats in the building right now than there were when we started this thing off at 7:30 Central Time. I have a feeling a few more are going to be emptied here in the next couple of minutes, unless the Rush can reel off a couple of quick goals, give their home fans a little bit of hope.
Stranger things have happened, but the way this one has gone, I don't know if I see it.
And the Mammoth, to their credit, also do not look like a team that played last night. They are full of energy still as we approach the final 8.5 minutes of this contest. Mark Matthews across from McIntosh. Head fake low shot stopped by Ward, and he gathers in the loose ball.
And now the clock is the friend of Colorado, and I think 11's going to be enough here tonight, Ryan, and it's about clock management, ball possession, value that lacrosse ball, and just try and run the Rush out of time.
Good news for the Rush, I guess, if you want to call it that. There's another goal. We'll get back to that in a moment as Kyle Killen finds the, no, pardon me, that's Eli McLaughlin, excuse me. And he's got a hat trick tonight, and it's 12-5 Colorado. You can put this one to bed.
Yeah, and unlike last night here for the Mammoth, where their offense did not show up, their best offensive players have been exactly that here for the Mammoth. McLaughlin, Wardle, Lee, all getting it done here for the Woolies this evening.
I go back to that goal review too at 6-4, the goal that made it 6-4 that was reviewed. You wonder if that gets overturned, how much that changes the complexion of this game. But the way Colorado's been playing, who knows if that really would have had an impact. But it could have been a big turning point, and it just didn't work out in the Rush favor. And really, nothing really has for them since the first quarter of this game.
And again, the Rush are playing far from their best lacrosse, but I don't want to take anything away from the job that the Mammoth have done here tonight. Full marks for this 7-goal lead.
100%. Lots to like if you're a fan of the Mammoth here tonight. And of course, we talked about the season series as here's a big collision behind the Rush goal. The fans like that, a little bit of physicality. 7.5 to go here in the fourth. We talked about the season series off the top. The Mammoth need this win to keep their hopes of winning that season series.
Suddenly February 8th is looming large, is it not?
Absolutely, because they're going to be just a half game back of the Rush after finishing this one off tonight. There's a shot from McIntosh that misses the net.
Yeah, by the time that these two play again, what is it, Let's? The Rush are going to have 4 games in hand on the Mammoth.
Bananas.
Where, and this is a real crucial part of the schedule here for Colorado, where they need to do some damage because they've used a lot of games down the stretch. And trying to play catch up at that point, they're going to be in trouble.
They're also on track to improve their road record to 3-2 as they play a road-heavy early portion of their schedule. Shatler's shot, that goes wide. No reset on the shot clock. So 10 to shoot, and Robinson has to hurry it up. Down low for Church. Trying to work his way free. Gets a long shot off. Ward makes the save, but nobody in a Rush jersey anywhere near that loose ball, and an easy collection for the Mammoth, Taylor Stewart.
Just over 6 to go as we bring you home here on week 8, Saturday night in the NLL. And what a week it's been. Rochester, their first win. New York, their first win. An overtime victory for the Black Wolves as they stay on the right track. And Halifax undefeated as well.
Crease violation on Colorado.
Buffalo over Toronto, and a big victory last night for Vancouver.
There's a chance for Dinsdale. Ward with another big stop. Garland can't find the rebound, and Jordan Gillis has it for the Mammoth. Quickly back up the floor. He's got Rouet with him. Takes the return pass. Gillis fires, and stopped by Kirk.
And let's not forget, Ryan Flaherty, still more lacrosse tomorrow. Sunday lacrosse, my favorite thing. Philly and Rochester will hook up.
So both of those teams playing a second of a back-to-back tomorrow night. See if Rochester can make it 2 for 2 this weekend.
My game picks took a beating this week.
I have a feeling a lot of people's picks have been less than stellar this week. Few upsets in the making, including right here. Although I do know there were some people picking Colorado in this one, and those people are looking pretty smart. Matthews to McIntosh, stopped by Ward, ball out of play. It will stay with the Rush. 5:03 to go. They trail by 7.
You want to look up in the zone in the dictionary, you're going to find a picture of Dylan Ward right now.
Just unbelievable, and going to put this together with his performance last night in Vancouver in the loss. A weekend masterpiece for Dylan Ward.
My goodness. Ridiculous. It's like that walrus in the Geico commercial, man.
Ridiculous.
It's a walrus. It's ridiculous.
So Wardle, 5 goals here tonight. His second career 5-goal game against the Rush. He likes playing this team in this building.
Duncan, Dillon, same thing, man.
Very close. And Ward's got a pretty good beard going too, like the walrus. All right, enough talk about sea creatures. It's 4:23 to go here in the fourth quarter, which means we're going to take our final timeout. The Mammoth just about ready to put the finishing touches on a big win here in Saskatoon. You're watching the NLL on BR Live. Ridiculous. SaskTel Center, and time now for our play of the game presented by Geico, and it's one of 5 goals for Chris Wardle, the most picturesque of the 5.
Yeah, that was that 6-7-4 goal there that we were talking about getting reviewed, the one that counted. That was the 6-4 goal from Wardle, I think his second of the night, adding 3 more on top of that for a 5-goal performance. And Chris Wardle gets the Geico play of the game.
We heard from him at halftime. I have a feeling we might hear from him again in the post-game, as he is putting on a first-star performance. But Dylan Ward might be the guy as well. Let's maybe give that to him. We'll see. We don't pick him, but there's 2 very good candidates right there.
I think, honestly, the 5 goals has been impressive, but Dylan Ward's blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, he's been sensational, absolutely.
5
and he's
goals.
got some support tonight, too, which is something he doesn't always get, but he has had plenty of it this evening. Keenan now behind the net.
Empty net here for the Rush.
There is Matthews as the 6-on-5, but Ward
gonna go for the empty net
for a second, and now Kirk trying to hustle his way back into the net. And John Lintz will just slow it down and let some more time tick off of that clock. Now under 4 minutes in regulation. Malloy playing both of these back-to-backs. Dylan Malloy, that's a vote of confidence from your head coach. And Jeff Cornwall will scoop it up for Saskatchewan. Rush don't play again until February 8th, when these very same Colorado Mammoth will be right back here in Saskatoon as Jeff Shatler beats Dylan Ward. And finally, the remaining fans here in the building have something to cheer about. It's been a long time since the last Rush goal. Jeff Shatler has 2 tonight. It's 12-6.
Yeah, when they've had success, just watch the slip here from Shatler. Look like you're going to set the pick, then go to the front of the goal. And Matthews ready for the delivery. Put it in the stick. Shatler put it in the goal, and they're down by 6.
So the Rush faithful who are sticking around, they already announced the 50-50, so that's a lot more people make their way to the exits, but the folks are still here, still having a good time and loving that goal by Jeff Shatler, who has really become a fan favorite here in Saskatchewan and even taken up residence here in Saskatchewan now, founding a new lacrosse academy down in the southern part of the province.
Yeah, working with the group at Standing Buffalo a lot, and just not enough hours in the day for Jeff Shatler to be teaching the youth of Saskatchewan the Creators game.
3:15 to go. It's a 12-6 Mammoth lead. Kyle Killen, as the Mammoth just spread it out wide offensively here and play a little keep away. McLaughlin take a trot through the middle. There's Killen's shot. That is blocked by Travis Cornwall. Now Jeff Shatler off the bench. Into the middle. Gets a pick from Garland. Loses the ball, but Garland's right there to pick it up. Holden Garland trying to go over the top, but Dylan Ward says no.
Probably exactly what he said there. Just no.
No, not on my watch. Ryan Lee looking up at the clock. 2:30 to go. The Mammoth, they kind of busted the SaskTel Center mystique last spring when they upset the Rush in the West Division semifinal, and you can see it now. They don't have any fear coming into this building.
For whatever reason it is, Flats, the Mammoth just match up really well with Saskatchewan.
Matthews trying to find another one here for the Rush. Church for Keenan, back to Church, takes that shot. Ward gets an arm on it. It's in the crease. Matthews is as well. Underneath a man. He'll collect himself off the turf.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you, Ryan Flaherty, that it doesn't matter who is playing who or where they're playing or what night they're playing or what time they're playing. Anybody in this league can beat anybody in this league on any given night, and that's what makes the National Lacrosse League the best league on the planet.
Well, it's not going to be a cakewalk for anyone this season, and the Rush will have to go back to the drawing board. There's another goal. No, waved off. Crease violation against Dylan Kinnear, so he has to wait a little longer for his second.
Under 2 minutes here, Flats. They're gonna review this one automatically, and I'm not so sure this isn't a goal from Kinnear.
It was a quick wipe by the official, but yes, it will get the automatic review here. So we'll have a listen in as Mark Gardonio goes to check this one out on the monitor.
Hello? Hello?
As they are in the last minutes of an NLL game, the goal is under review. The standard practice.
Goal. Yeah.
Okay.
This should be a pretty quick review here, I think.
Does look from that angle that the ball is in across the line before Kinnear's foot lands in the crease.
Pull it down.
Okay. Give me another angle. That one doesn't help me much.
That one from the side, I think, is the best look. You get the ball and the foot.
Roll that back. Okay, roll forward. Okay, keep going. Next one, next angle. Roll that back. Okay, roll forward. Okay, is that everything, fellas? Okay, thanks.
Mark Gardonio has seen enough, and he is ready to make his ruling.
Another inconclusive situation here.
After review the call on the floor stands, we have no goal.
Right you are, Jake. Just not quite enough of a look to see it there. It did look from that one angle on the side that the ball was clearly over the line before the foot came down, but not clear enough for Mark Gardonio, so it remains 12-6 Mammoth with 1:25 to go in the fourth. The Kirk will stay on the bench for the Rush as Robert Church will start this possession in his own end.
And goal rather academic at this point, but I like the fact that Gardonio got in and he got out in a timely fashion, made his review, made his call, and get back on with the game. I think that's something that we need to look at in our game is how long these reviews take. I'd like to see a time limit put on it to keep the momentum and the flow of lacrosse going. The fastest game on 2 feet, we want it to keep moving.
Mammoth now just watching that clock tick down, just a minute left here as they will improve to 4-3 on the season with this victory here in Saskatoon. Kinnear looking for another opportunity after having one taken away moments ago.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 2 or 3 weeks here with this Rush roster, Ryan. I don't think Derek Keenan, Bruce Urban, the coaching staff here is just going to sit idly by and think everything is going to be okay and it's going to rectify and fix itself here over the next couple of weeks. I'm expecting a couple of significant changes over the next couple of weeks here for the Rush.
There'll be a lot of chatter indeed as folks aren't used to seeing a game like this, especially on home turf from the Rush. They do have 2 weeks off to get things reorganized, and they will practice in Toronto, not next week then, but the weekend after, and then return to Saskatoon for that February 8th date against the Mammoth. The Mammoth, meanwhile, as you touched on earlier, they'll play 2 games before they come back here. They are home to Buffalo next weekend, and then they will be in Las Vegas to face the San Diego Seals on February 1st.
Super Bowl weekend.
And that will do it. The final score from SaskTel Center tonight. Another upset as the Colorado Mammoth come in and win in Saskatoon for their second straight trip, 12-6. They roll over the Rush as they took over this game in the second quarter and never looked back.
That was a convincing victory there. Remember, they were down 3-0 to start this game, so they go on a 12-3 run and salt this one away on a chilly Saskatoon night here from SaskTel Center. Full marks for the Mammoth and their victory, who came off a very disappointing loss last night in Vancouver and flipped the script here on the Saskatchewan Rush here tonight. Rush outshoot the Mammoth 56-47, but Dylan Ward, who will be our first star here tonight, absolutely slammed the door on the Rush offense.
And that's perfect timing to cue up our save of the game, which is presented by Alterna Bank. And it is actually going to be Rush goaltender Evan Kirk here with the save of the game on the dunk, the diving dunk attempt by Jacob Rouet. Heck of a stop by Evan Kirk, but it was Dylan Ward's night tonight between the pipes. for Colorado. As the handshake line wraps up, and a well-earned victory for the Mammoth. Dan Coates with the high fives for his team as they head off the floor, coming back from an embarrassing, in their words, loss to the Vancouver Warriors last night in Vancouver. And now they respawn against a team that many thought was starting to really get rolling.
Yeah, and I would say that that's probably how the Rush feel a little bit right now.
All right, we are going to take a timeout here, and then when we return, we will hear from the man of the hour. Stick around. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
Welcome back. I am joined by the first star of the game, Dylan Ward. Dylan, what a game. I mean, you kept the Rush to 6 points. Last night you kept Vancouver to 7, but you took a loss then, took a win tonight. Just how does it feel to come into this barn in particular and get such a dominant win?
Yeah, you know, last night we were pretty disappointed with our effort. We thought that we gave one away, and we knew that we needed to grind one out here to beat Saskatchewan at home. So we showed up. We started a little late, but we stuck the course and we grinded one out.
And just speaking from that goaltender's perspective, of course, what is it like when you're facing a team like the Rush? You're expecting that same very close game that you traditionally have.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head there. They're always close games for the most part. They have such a talented team. We're confident in our defense and our offense as well. So, you know, we knew coming in that it was going to be tough. And when we went down early, we easily could have just turned it off and mailed it in. But, you know, we decided to stay the course. We stuck to our game plan, and I think we surprised ourselves a little bit with a huge win.
Yeah, a mammoth win, if you will. Now, Wardell, let's talk about as well the offense tonight, just on fire.
Absolutely. You know, again, it goes back to last night. We were pretty disappointed in ourselves, and I thought the offense rebounded amazing. You know, to put 13 goals up in this barn against that great defense, you know, that's a huge win on its own. And, you know, couldn't be happier for those guys up front.
Now the road trip continues for you and the Mammoth. You're off to Buffalo next week and then Las Vegas. Yeah. How are you feeling about that? I know that's a couple weeks away, but I mean, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an awesome experience. You know, Vegas is known for putting on a show, and you've seen how they've rallied around their hockey team the last couple of years. So, you know, we're excited, and most importantly, we just need to go out there and get a division win.
I was going to say, how does it feel knowing that this series is at least tied? Because the next time you two meet, you're back here. It'll be a 2-week break for the Rush.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, the season series means so much, and if we were to give the series away right here, you know, it would have put us in a pretty tough spot. So we knew, you know, we had to come out here, perform, and at least give ourselves a chance to win the season series.
Well, thanks so much, Dylan. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your team. We appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Daniela and Dylan Ward. 50 saves here tonight at SaskTel Center as the Mammoth win it going away 12-6 over the Saskatchewan Rush. Doesn't sound real, but it really happened, and get used to it because this Colorado Mammoth team here tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't a believer when the season began. I wasn't really sure they were going to have the goal production to get it done. I knew the defense was going to be strong and Dylan Ward, it was going to be Dylan Ward. But this offense has kind of found their rhythm. They found some chemistry. They've injected a lot of youth into this offense, and they've come together very quickly. And when they get a well-balanced attack like they did tonight, production from Lee and Eli and Kinnear, and of course Wardle with that 5 spot here tonight, they are a tough team to beat. You know they're going to be in every game with the defense and goaltending. It's just a question whether the offense showed up tonight. They did, and they go away winning this one rather easily.
On the other side, let's talk about the Rush, because we did not expect an outing like this from them tonight, coming off back-to-back wins. It seemed like they were getting everything in sync with that win in San Diego last week. They take a big step back here tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think it's going to be a concern here for Derek Keenan and Jeff McComb about the offense and the limited production. We're used to this team getting 12, 13, 14 goals per game. To start this year, and we talk about it a lot, Ryan, the switch from going righty strong to lefty strong, it's still an issue. These guys are still trying to figure it out a little bit. Do they sit and do they wait another 2 weeks, or do they go out and make a move and try and make something happen here? Because it just hasn't got going yet, and it's got to be concerning.
Yeah, it's absolutely got to be a concern. They have a couple weeks off now to get back to the drawing board as we take a look at some of the numbers. I think we're going to see some stats here from this contest here tonight. Of course, the final score, 12-6 Mammoth. Some of the point getters there, it's Ryan Lee, in fact, with a big night. Eli McLaughlin. Chris
Steve's
Wardle
brother there, right?
had 5 goals as well. Ben McIntosh hits the 200 career goal milestone, but you know he'd much rather have it in a win, as that offense, we talked about it. But defensively as well, I thought, for the Rush, that was something that's been their strength all season, and even that didn't really seem to be clicking on all cylinders tonight. Full credit, however, to the Mammoth and what they were able to do against the Rush defense.
I really think Saskatchewan, Levy, and Macomb and Keenan will sit down. They're going to break down this game tape and figure out what went wrong here tonight. And season series now tied here between these two teams with a game apiece, and February 8th will decide it back here at SaskTel Center. Game of the week in Colorado next week as they'll take on the Bandits, but a couple of weeks off here for the Rush to try and figure things out.
Absolutely. They will have next week off, then practice in 2 weeks' time, and then it's right back here to SaskTel Center to face these very same Colorado Mammoth, and you know they're going to need a different game plan on February 8th. It was a raucous atmosphere to start things off here tonight at the Cable Box, and the Rush got off to a great start with 3 quick goals in the opening 5. Cody Fajardo, Rough Riders quarterback, in the house as well, banging the drum, getting the fans going. But in the end, it's the Colorado Mammoth who respond, and they just took over in that second quarter as we take a look at some of the highlights here from this one.
Yeah, let's watch here. It starts off beautifully here for the Rush as Church sets up Keenan for the opening goal of the game on the quick stick. They get up 3-0. There's Chris Wardle with his first. The setup for Shatler here on the 2-man game. That was kind of one of the plays that was working for Saskatchewan here tonight. As Keenan now gives it back. He took a rough ride there. McIntosh got his 200th of his career, but Eli McLaughlin and Chris Wardle really the catalysts for the Mammoth offense here tonight as they spurred on their Mammoth for a 6-goal victory here as Capito beats Kirk from outside.
Yeah, McLaughlin's 2 goals in that first half erased a 4-2 deficit, and then they never looked back. They took a 5-4 lead, and Colorado never relinquished that lead. Chris Wardle finding the net all night long. It was a good night for the visitors, not so much for the home side as the Rush fall to 0-2 at home. They're still perfect on the road, but they're back home for their next game, while the Mammoth will go back to the Loud House to host the Buffalo Bandits.
What a wild week 8 in the National Lacrosse League, Ryan Flaherty. My goodness.
Absolutely. That will pretty much do it here from SaskTel Center as we take a look at the final handshake line. It was another good one between these two West Division rivals, but we'll throw a bow on it right now from SaskTel Center. And of course, if you want to get all the news from the NLL, go to NLL.com to get your all-access pass to the National Lacrosse League. Get the latest news, highlights, stories, and more. For Daniela Ponticelli, Jake Elliott, I'm Ryan Flaherty. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, the final score tonight, Colorado Mammoth 12, the Saskatchewan Rush 6. You've been watching the National Lacrosse League on BR Live.
You have been watching a special presentation of the National Lacrosse League.